Well, hello everybody and welcome to the 365th edition of the Boxing Asylum Nuthouse podcast. I'm your host Steve Wellings, and joining me on the call so far we have Ozzy Smith and Andy Patterson. Here we are as always on this Sunday evening, going live on mixler.com/Boxing Asylum from 8 o'clock or thereabouts. I know it's about 5 past now on Sunday evening. Also, we've got the Patreon RSS feed update shortly after the show concludes. Catch us on Mondays on YouTube, Soundcloud and iTunes. Slim pickings, everybody. We'll muddle through as best we can. A few of the lads on Twitter and on Patreon have thrown in questions, so we'll just go by them. If you are in the chat and there's a thriving chat going on already, then throw in questions, talking points, anything you want to get stuck into. Pretty much anything goes, as long as we don't have to do a whole load of research. We're happy to chat about anything. Let's check in on the panel first of all. Andy, hope you're keeping well. What's the situation there over in Bonnie, Scotland? No lockdown just yet. You got plenty of reserves in the cupboards?
Well, if you read the latest reports, you shouldn't really be drinking too much alcohol, so I'll refrain for that. Obviously there's some skulls need to get fucking flattened in pubs and clubs and that up and down the land. Stay in the fucking house, you wankers. You know, you've been asked politely. Didn't make us fucking tell you. So stay in the fucking house. Yeah, but other than that, it's all good, mate. Nice sunny day outside in the garden with the kids and stuff. Obviously keeping the distance and stuff, but trying times, you know, but just got to stay mentally with it. That's what we've got to do, boys.
Absolutely, well said. What about you, Ozzy? How's things yourself? What you got in the old cupboards? Plenty of bog roll?
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely not one of these people stockpiling toilet roll. Possibly one of the most pointless things to stockpile as well. I mean, fuck knows why people need, we're buying 60 or 80 rolls at a time. I mean, they either permanently got the shits or they just like the sight of toilet roll. Bizarre, but that is the Brits for you. Greed, pure greed. And if they think they're not going to get something, they'll ensure other people don't get it. I mean, it's laughable, isn't it? People queuing at supermarkets an hour before they open. I think what people are getting confused by, if we do go into lockdown, these places will still be open, so you are not going to starve. And you will still get the goods that you want. So I've been tending to steer away from them, to be honest. Just getting by, plenty of walking, early morning, late evening, and you just get on with it, don't you? Not much else you can do.
Absolutely, the panel seems safe enough at the moment. We're on work lockdown now. I'm stuck out in the sticks anyway, so we're happy enough just staying out the road. Andy and Ozzy seem okay. Everybody in the chat seems okay as well. Rapping Rob Kelly apparently is en route. One person who's not okay, old Roger Mayweather. We'll be talking about him very shortly. He's no longer with us at the age of 58. We'll have a bit of a chat about Roger. Just a little bit before my time, to be honest with you. I've seen a little bit of action of him. Obviously know his work as a trainer with Floyd. We'll talk about that shortly. First of all, Andy, you threw something in there in the chat about the Fury drug situation. It's growing legs, growing forelegs of wild boar, I suppose. What's the latest here? Then I know UCAD aren't going around and testing people, which is music to the ears of the cheats. WBC as well, coming up later in Bellew of the Week, are also not going to be chasing or hounding people down. What's the latest on this Fury situation then? Ozzy was mentioning beforehand, he's paying off Fat Mick. Do we know anything?
Well, I've not heard. The last I heard, obviously, was UCAD were obviously going to be investigating the claims. Obviously, there's no new news there. Obviously, the new news is that Tyson Fury's settled at 1.5 million quid with Mick Hennessey out of court. So that ends that debacle. So Mick will he'll enjoy his retirement. But as for the Fury situation, so I seen Hearn coming out with comments and that saying Dillian Whyte should be keeping his eye on the situation. Basically, he's got Fury like prejudged, hung, drawn, and quartered, and that Whyte should get the vacant belt handed to him, basically, But he's coming out with all these comments and stuff, and at the same time, he's actually there's a guy in his camp of fighters. He promotes another heavyweight who's also tied up in this situation as well, who also claimed the wild boar situation, and that was Hughie Fury, who, as I say, Eddie Hearn currently promotes. So it's a fucking weird situation. I don't know if, obviously I'm not a journalist, Steve. You've probably got a better insight than me. But would this shit go to press if it was untrue, or the guy had done his due diligence? Because at the end of the day, if it goes to court, if Fury wants to take this up, I don't know if he can take it to court actually. But it doesn't look good, I suppose. But
Lawyers must be involved at some place, Andy. You would imagine that they've got the newspapers before printing must have got the go-ahead from some degree to say that we're okay to print what we've got here. I would imagine. I couldn't see them going without that.
Yeah, true. Another thing as well is, I remember hearing from Frank Warren. I don't know if he had phoned the farmer guy or the farmer guy had phoned him and stuff. And according to Frank anyway, that the first thing that came out the farmer's mouth was he wanted 25,000 or something like that. I can't mind. He wanted a payoff anyway. So I think Frank had told him to go to the board, and here we are. So I said it'll get investigated, but at the same time, we've no, you kind of shut down, as you say. You'll have people out there juiced to the fucking gills. We'll hear of heart attacks next because people are just going fucking bananas on this stuff. We'll have fucking King Kong fighting on the fucking ring shortly in about 9 months' time if we get that quick back in the ring and stuff. But it's open season, and if you've got the money, if you've got the know-how, you can do some microdosing and stuff, and you come back after this pandemic's over, and look like $1 million. So I'll be keeping an eye on Dillian Whyte when he comes back as well.
Ozzy, what's your take on the whole situation? I was saying during the week, obviously Fury was with Fat Mick at the time, so Frank's running around fighting fires. Eddie as well is in the awkward situation that he can't throw too much shit at the wall in case it sticks against his man Hughie Fury, who is also embroiled in this thing. So, I mean, it's the silly season, as Frank says, really. We'd like to see Fat Mick gain a few quid as well. Carl the Contradiction for Archie in the chat says, Fat Mick got $1.5 million. That will support his takeaway bill through the lockdown.
You can no. We'll get him through 6 weeks.
It was a really odd situation and a bizarre situation as well. Really, I mean, he's had ample opportunity. Essentially, from when Fury made his comeback against Sefer Safiri, why didn't he come out then? Why did he not oust Fury then? In fact, what was he waited for now? Essentially, he's seen Tyson Fury. He's got right back to the top. He's in the public eye. People are talking about him. One of the hottest properties in boxing. And the farmers tried to essentially strike while the iron's hot. Problem is, it's completely backfired on him. And the idiots basically admitting to lying, essentially lying in court and things like that. But I mean, I'm surprised. It's an interesting stance from the newspaper, the Mail. I think Ollie Holt was the one. I know he's not directly involved with this, but Ollie Holt was the one who tried to tarnish Fury originally. Did tarnish Fury from an interview that they did, and basically spun a lot of stuff about him and what he said, and focused everything on that. And they're seemingly doing the same again. And the two journalists that have put the thing together now have basically said, it's a disgrace that boxing isn't taking this seriously. Well, at the end of the day, why should people take a lying farmer seriously? As you say, he rang Frank Warren, tried to demand 25 grand. Frank rightfully told him to piss off. So they say he's not being paid, but he went to the newspapers. But like I said, I don't think there's anything in it. He's technically served his ban anyway. So it's just one of those. But it's just a shame that, Fury, he was enjoying his moment, etc., things like that. And it's just the typical UK press that when you've got athletes at the top and performing well, the only thing to do is pull them down. Fingers crossed nothing does come of it.
It's the British way though, isn't it? They let you get so far and just drag you fucking back.
Yeah, it's the mentality. And you've got your old golden child who escapes everything and literally could do whatever they want, and they get away with everything. But as we say anyway, I mean, the governing bodies announcing like UCAD and the WBC have said they're minimising testing anyway. I mean, what a laughable thing to come out with. Just don't say anything at all. Reduce your testing all you want, but don't make that public knowledge. As you say, every boxer could be doping now. They may say, well, in reality, who are they going to test?
Imagine Lance Armstrong right now if he was still cycling.
Exactly.
Oh, shit balls.
So, I mean, you're going to see these, like the boxers that, had like, say, not the most aesthetically pleasing figures on them in the ring. They're going to be coming back and be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, aren't they? Absolutely massive, ripped to shreds, things like that. So, yeah, it's fucking ludicrous. that they've come out with stuff like that. But no, a really peculiar situation. Won't touch too much on the Hennessey lawsuit, which has now been, signed, sealed, agreed. Mick's doing okay, and I think one thing. Look, it's easy to take the piss out of him, because he's a big bloke and stuff.
I like Mick,
But I think we genuinely got to applaud what he has done with limited resources in the sport. What he did with De Gale, Fury. The guy's not an Froch.
Means mostly Froch.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Froch, he did extremely well, got him that world title shot. He's done an excellent job. I mean, look, he's the punchline of many jokes and things like that. I think even he took the piss out of himself when he referred to him as the Penguin when Tyson Fury dressed up as Batman. But you have got to applaud the role he has played in these people's careers. He's essentially, got 10 times the wages of what these boxers would have been on at the start and things like that. Somebody's just mentioned in the chat now, Darren Barker, another fighter that he's done well with. So is it a bit of just reward? Yes. Had he have stayed as his promoter and then they've gone down the other line, he would have probably got more. But in reality now, 1.5 million is a drop in the ocean to Tyson Fury now. I mean, he's on major money, and Mick Hennessey is getting something that he essentially built up from scratch. He took Tyson Fury from debut. He believed in him. He stood by him through all the mess. He was there in Germany fighting his corner and things like that. Do you remember? We remember the ring debacle with the Klitschko's, and we saw the video of Mick essentially saying, "We'll walk from this fight now if you do not remove some of that foam in the ring." Well, what happened? The foam got removed, and Fury went on to win. So you've got to applaud his role in the game, really. It's one of them. It's, as you say, you can't delve too much into it naturally because you don't have all the details, but Fury's clearly happy with that. Mick Hennessey's clearly happy. He's making somewhat of a mini comeback now, isn't he? He had a couple of dates lined up, which obviously have been postponed due to the ongoing situation with the coronavirus. And he's got one of the only deals with terrestrial boxing on Channel 5. His numbers, from what he claims, do extremely well. So let's see where he goes with it. But no, on Mick Hennessey as a whole, you do have to, as we say, he's the punchline of a lot of jokes, but if you do break down his career and what he's done for a hell of a lot of fighters, he's done a tremendous job.
He did a great job with David Walker as well. Walker had no business getting a European title shot, but around 2002, I think it was, 2003, it might have been in Wembley or Alexandra Palace or somewhere like that, he got David Walker a European title shot against Roman Karmazin, who was the champion at the time, big, strong Russian. He knocked Walker out in about 4 rounds on BBC, but Mick could pull strings. One of the guys in the chat mentioned something there, which I think is a good point. He's a good manager, but it's the promotional side that Mick doesn't seem to get. If Mick hooked up with a top promoter, the way Frank Maloney, remember him, did with Frank Warren years ago in the Sky days, and they worked together. Maloney was like the lesser partner, Frank was the major partner. You could see Mick, obviously he wouldn't do that because he's his own man and he runs his own promotional company, but you could see him being the boxing brain behind the scenes of someone who has the money and the nous and the social media presence or whatever it is you need these days, and Mick running that boxing thing in the background. He's a good guy, he's Mick Hennessey. Fair play to him. Sam in the chat is saying UCAD and VADA barely even testing now. All the fighters are going to return to the ring jacked up. Absolutely agree with that. Talking to people who are jacked up, what about Gabe Lewis down there in deepest, darkest Texas? How's it going, Gabe? Is this virus touching you at the moment? Are you all stocked up and ready in the bunker?
Touching me.
Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. As far as I know, it's not anywhere too god awful close. I mean, the closest case I think is like 45 minutes out. I mean, it wouldn't, it's one of those things. It wouldn't surprise me if it was here, but there's no actual report of it being here.
Gabe, I heard you shot a few people just in case they might have coronavirus. That's good precautionary measures.
I want to go ahead and put them out of their goddamn misery.
Yeah, any chance you can fly out here and go to the Scottish pubs and start with your M16, just fucking lay cunts to waste here, because it's a fucking nightmare.
Well, I mean, yeah, if that's what we need to do, we can set it up.
Florida Beach as well, man. That place needs fucking napalmed. They don't fucking listen.
I know,
Gabe, Gabe, I heard there's not many cases in Mexico. I can see you lot trying to get down there. That Mexican president needs to build a wall to keep you fuckers out.
I don't know about all that shit. Yeah, that's what they say. The only thing that I've seen about Mexico is there was apparently some folks from Mexico that came up to Colorado, and after they left Colorado, they went back and had taken it back. I mean, if that shit gets down there, boy, howdy, Mexico's going to be in real bad shape because they're already bad off as it is, as far as I can tell. But, I mean, it could be a lot worse.
Good to hear that you're safe, Gabe. Just before we move on to any particular topics, is there anything you've been watching? How have you been satisfying your boxing thirst? Have you been looking at old fights on YouTube? What's the crack?
Yeah, just trying to get as much stuff, to download. And I'm always working on transferring stuff, from old DVDs to hard drives and that kind of thing. Been stuck on. Just finished up the Barrera career set that I bought a while back, moving it over to the hard drive. So that was fun. That was really good to watch. Getting to see, a much older Barrera in the end, probably past his best, or not probably, definitely was, and still competing with guys like Juan Marquez and, getting some wins over Paulie Ayala and Rocky Juarez. Those are pretty good fighters. Paulie Ayala and Rocky Juarez, and let's see. Oh Christ, I don't know. I've been amassing a collection of all kinds of random odd and end shits. Some stuff from. So I got really interested in trying to find as many flyweight championship fights as I could. So I'm going back in time over that right now. That's kind of one of the fun things to look at, just seeing how that division has played out over the years. Nowhere close to getting anything solid, in terms of a complete championship type collection. But that's always fun, trying to find that stuff. A lot of it comes from other countries, so finding it is kind of like a treasure trove if you get a hold of one. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just kind of looking around. People are hoarding toilet paper. I'm hoarding old goddamn fights.
Jason Chucker's appeared in the chat. This week sucked, said Jason, so he's struggling out there. Hope you're okay. Curly Watts is in as well. Swaggy Taggy, Carl Frotch, Carl the Contradiction Frotch even. MB, Tosh, all the usual names. With us on this Sunday evening. Right, Ozzy, let's get stuck into a question from Ryan Deal. He said, what's the best excuse for a loss? Ryan Deal's asking you, Ozzy, what's the best excuse for a loss? A few that come to my mind. Obviously, we've got Deontay, the man himself, with the suit from last week, and also David Hay, Toegate, were the two that came to my mind. Anything that you can think of, Ozzy?
Yeah, those two immediately came to mind straight away. I think Wilder's tops it as a whole, really. I mean, to say that a £40 suit is the reason that you got battered from pillar to post is quite amusing. I'm trying to think what others have been, like. I mean, what else is there?
Apparently, Ozzy, I think it was maybe Kermit Cintron was once complaining about Sergio Martinez having excessive hair gel, hair mousse products in his hair, and whenever they got into the clinch together, it was going into Cintron's eyes. I might have the fighters wrong, but I'm sure it was definitely Sergio Martinez had too much mousse, and I think it was Kermit Cintron, and he was stinging his eyes, yeah.
Kermit Cintron was a class act cunt, that guy was.
Trying to think of a couple of others.
The only guy to actually physically throw himself out a ring to avoid a fucking fight during it.
Oh my god! I'll never forget that one, Andy. I was getting ready to watch a decent show. Who was he in with that evening?
I knew you were asking. Hang on, I'll see if I can find it. That's about 5 years ago, longer than that actually, isn't it?
Andy, while you're looking, the guys in the chat have thrown a few in here. Tyson's broken back, says Curly Watts, and MB has thrown in the volcanic ash cloud.
Volcanic, well, that was one of the best ones. Sorry, I'm just trying to kind of find this fucking thing. Yeah, the volcanic ash cloud was the best one. Like, somebody in the chat can throw this one in. I try to remember what fucking fight that was.
It was Paul Williams.
That's
Yeah,
right.
it's been confirmed, Andy Paul Williams.
2010. Jesus, 2010.
Life's drifting by, brother.
I'm officially. No, man, just give me my pension money now before the world burns and dies. Jesus, suffering 10 years ago. Fuck.
Any
we
other
get
boys
Dave-
you want to throw in?
Can we get a Dave Allen in there for not training, or something like that?
Right.
Which fight's that?
Not training, yeah. Trying to think of any others really. You know, I think we all agree that Wilder's probably tops it. I mean, blaming that fucking suit and said that to never try it on until the ring walk is again. Does he think people are stupid? But yeah, that has to top it. Closely followed by the broken toe of David Hay, and I think the Ash Cloud's another good one as well. But as is the excessive use of hair gel. That's an interesting one, yeah. And it got in his eyes.
There was one of the fights between Oscar and Julio Cesar Chavez. I think it was it the first fight he got stopped on a cut. I think it was, and they basically Julio basically blamed it on his on Julio Jr. hitting him in the eye with a fucking rattle or something like that and cut his eye. So that's apparently how he went into that fight with apparently under makeup or whatever it was, and that's how he ended up getting stopped because it got reopened. I seem to recall something like that anyway.
Okay, we'll move off that one then, boys. Bad stomachache, a few of them are thrown in here. Duran versus Leonard. Yeah, that was a good one. Call the contradiction Frotch. I'm having trouble with that one already.
Yeah.
Says O'Hara Davis's block noses.
Yeah.
Oh, aye, that's a beller, aye.
That's a good one, yeah. He couldn't breathe, was his words, wasn't he? He couldn't breathe because he had a blocked nose. Yeah.
I couldn't breathe from my both noses.
That's gotta be up there for all the pure bullshit he gave before it as well. How he would never quit. He's never been dropped. He's too much. He hits too hard, and then fuck me. He turned away, cowered in a corner, and said, "Yeah, I've got a blocked nose, basically, so I can't carry on."
Tosh says Rigo's sore arm. Curly Watts has thrown one in that I was trying to think of, but I didn't want to mention it. I knew Povetkin had come up with one in the past, and Curly Watts has actually reminded me. He said that Marco Huck stank. He said Marco Huck was stinking.
What?
That was it. Yeah, exactly.
Me. What happened to
Huck's
the good
BO.
old? Just he was better than me.
Oh, David Hay, when he says he didn't want to get too close to Nicola Valiev because he didn't want to kind of like get involved in his kind of sweaty, hairy chest and stuff.
That's
I mean, that
right.
guy
He
was a
said he
fucking
yeah.
fucker,
He
aye.
said he was stinking, didn't they? Flip's sake. There's some bad ones. Right, let's move on then, shall we, boys? Gabe, got one coming for you from Ryan Deal again. He's thrown in a few questions to help us by on episode 365, Gabe. He says, is Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, done? Not aware of any plans or announcements for him going forward. Well, there won't be now anyway. Would only have a couple left without taking into account the expected layoff upcoming. So even, with this coronavirus as well, it's going to push Triple G back a bit. I know they were planning on getting Canelo in, Gabe, against Billy Joe Saunders, then probably having the third fight with Triple G in September. But is he done, says Ryan Deal? It's not going to help him, is it, this layoff? He wasn't the most active as it was, had a bit of a life and death with Derevyanchenko. So I'll throw it over to you then, Gabe. What's the crack with Triple G? As and when he comes back, is he done?
It's with Conte, so it's going to be a great downtime for him.
What?
He's training with Victor Conte these days, so it's great to have this downtime,
Yeah, fucking Conte is I mean, that guy knows what he's doing. He knows his business, and he knows exactly how to take guys through whatever they need to get through, substance-wise, to make it out test-wise clean. I mean, I don't know if Triple G is done. I mean, I kind of feel like he spent so much time in the early portion of his American career, the time that he was on HBO and such, kind of laboring to get big fights. And I think by the time it actually happened, the decline had already started. So I think we all feel like he's declined. I really wouldn't venture to guess that everyone believes that, but I think most people, listeners of this show, will say the same thing. He has declined. I wouldn't say he's completely done. I think he's got enough to give some top guys a good fight. And I think that this Canelo fight, if he's in good shape and comes in ready to go, it could be another close fight. But I don't actually think it will be. I think for the best Golovkin to show up, he's going to have to really put everything he's got into it. He's going to have to show up in the ring ready to go to hell and back. And I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think his mental capacity is a blood and guts warrior. He always gives that bullshit about Mexican style, and it's not. He's not going to go into the trenches and go to a war. And if he does, he's not coming out of it. Canelo's too young. He's too fresh. He's too quick. His defense is too good. And I don't see any way that he's going to be able to negate anything Alvarez does and to keep Alvarez at bay. I mean, his jab is not going to be enough by itself, but I don't think he's going to be able to jab and keep Canelo back, because I think he's going to be too busy trying to come forward. And when he does that, Canelo's going to use that tremendous head movement that he's got and really good defense and find ways to counterpunch him and he'll be the one keeping Triple G at bay. And so then whenever the fight wears late and Triple G starts, after this long layoff, breathing a little bit heavy, he's going to be in a position where Canelo can come in and I think get the knockout or the referee stoppage. That's kind of the way I picture it going in my head. I just don't see what Triple G can do. So is he finished, done, kaput? No. But he's declined enough that I don't think he can keep up with a kid in his prime like Canelo and some of the top players in the division.
I don't know what your opinion is, Ozzy. I'm tending to agree with Gabe. They're just pivoting off the original question. As and when the Canelo fight happens, which I have my doubts, even before this layoff, whether it was going to happen at all, it's not going to get any easier for Triple G the longer it goes on, is it? In fact, you could eventually see, if Triple G's pushing 40 when the fight does happen, maybe a Morales-Pacquiao 3 situation. Did they fight 3 times? Yeah, they did. He got stopped, didn't he, in the last one in about 3 or 4 rounds?
I don't see him getting stopped. I would be amazed at that. But I certainly think Golovkin's still got a lot to offer in the 160 division. I mean, if you just look down the ranking, I'm just on BoxRec now, but you've got Canelo, then you've got to look at it. Would he beat Eubank Jr.? Yes. Would he beat Demetrius Andrade? Yes. Would he beat Jem Munguia? Yes. Jamal Charlo, would he beat him? Yes. So, I mean, you're going down there, and then you get into the likes of Jeff Horn. He'd kill Jeff Horn. He'd kill Michael Zarafa. I thought a fight that would be interesting would be a potential fight with Murata. That was talked up for the Canelo fight at one point due to his obvious appeal over in Japan. I thought that'd be an interesting fight. And then it leaves Derevyanchenko as well, which you've obviously got you've got the what's it called? You've got a rematch there as well, where there was arguments that, well, it was a close fight. Some people argued Derevyanchenko won the fight, so he's certainly got things to offer. He's not the fighter he once was, but what we've got to remember as well is the 2 fights with Canelo were extremely close. I mean, I had him winning the first one. Pretty comfortably is not the right word, but a more than fair winner. The second one was much closer, and you can argue, 3 ways. Golovkin, Canelo, draw. A third one, you've probably got to favour Canelo purely on age, activity, etc., things like that. However, this is boxing, and Golovkin is no slouch. Will that happen? I'm not sure. I think this layoff potentially scuppers things, because I mean, what we did see is that there was talk that they'd already agreed a third deal. Was that planned for after the Saunders fight? I'm not too sure. But if the Saunders fight does go ahead, Golovkin's clearly got to look at something in the interim, Because, I mean, then look, I mean, this Saunders fight could happen, in, say, October, for example. That means a potential third fight between the pair wouldn't happen until, April 2021? So that's far too long not to be getting in the ring with anybody. And we've seen him beat up enough, B standard opponents to know that it's absolutely pointless for him. So it would be interesting to see who they'd look to put him in with next. I'm not too sure who they were going to put him in with.
Jeremeta, wasn't it, as MB says?
It
Do you remember the poll?
It was. Yeah. He was the. I think he's the European champion, or he was the recent European champion. So they probably put to put that on in America somewhere. So yeah, they may look at that fight again. Or they'll look to pick somebody. I don't really know who else they'd look to. They'll probably look to go back to the fight with the Polish guy, the Jeremeta. It was done. Everything was agreed. It probably makes sense to do it in the interim if a third fight with Canelo is lined up. But overall, I certainly think he's still got a lot to give. His name carries massive weight. The one loss he has had is extremely controversial, and I think a lot of people would be queuing up. Probably not, but as I say, the name carries weight, and if you can get the scalp, it's one that you're definitely going to be proud of, and not, he was washed, done, like a complete corpse of what he was, because he certainly isn't that.
Quick word from you, Andy, on Golovkin. I'm just looking at Jeremeta here. He did win the European title, made a couple of defences. They were obviously lining him up for that big fight against Triple G in America as well, because in October they brought him over to New York to fight Oscar Cortez. I was going to say New York, Chicago, big sort of areas. Then maybe would have stuck Jeremeta against Golovkin in. But is he going to be pushed over the hill, Andy, do you think, old Triple G?
To be honest, mate, the signs have been. I mean, I agree with what Gabe was saying. I think it goes back to the Danny Jacobs fight. Maybe go back to the Brook fight. I don't know if it was because something was off with that Brook fight. I don't know if because he was pissed off. There were rumours that he was ill as well. Maybe problems trying to make the weight. But I think the steady declines happened around about the Jacobs fight, which I thought he maybe just lost. I thought Jacobs took it 115, 113. But then if you go through his career and stuff as well, I mean, he was very active, especially outside his kind of HBO contract and that as well, because he obviously had that kind of leeway to kind of go and have fights in Monaco or whatever and that as well. But at this point, what is he now? He must be pushing 38, 39.
He's 38, yeah.
38. Derevchenko was a toughish fight. I think as well as if this Canelo fight does happen, it's probably going to happen up at a catch weight, which will probably actually even help Golovkin as well. Certainly because Canelo is not going to obviously kind of strip any weight off from that, but it would help Golovkin. But also in the same breath, it actually gives Canelo that satisfaction that he is the A side, he's calling the shots. Therefore, I'm calling the weight this fight's going to happen at as well. So we'll wait and see. But if the fight against the pole happens, I suspect that Golovkin should walk through him. Even just with his pedigree, regardless of his age, his power, his pedigree, I still think he would take him out there within 8 rounds. But he's definitely on the slide, and I think the third fight, I'm no interested in a third fight whatsoever, but I think Canelo would win a third fight, especially if it's in Vegas, judges, all that sort of stuff. I think Golovkin would need to, without doubt, have they knock him out, and Alvarez has got a strong neck, strong chin. I just don't see it happening. So unless he can either emphatically beat him up, knock him down without doubt on the cards that the judges just kind of rub him or whatever, and that, or make it close, I just think Canelo's got his number by this point in that as well, because he says he's up in age. I do listen to people in that as well when it comes to the kind of likes of the rehydrating and working up at altitude. People have been saying for a while now that he should have came down from Big Bear, long ago, because as you get older, your body takes time to kind of recover, and if you're obviously kind of up at altitude trying to sleep, for example, you find it harder to catch a breath. It takes a wee bit of time for your body to kind of acclimate. So they do say that you shouldn't spend too much time up at altitude, and that, which Golovkin has done for the best part of his career. And he's obviously just in the last couple of, the last 6 to 8 months, he's been now training with Victor Conte So we'll wait and see what kind of benefits that gets and that. So just something to kind of think about as well. But at this point, he's definitely on the slide. But his, we've seen it with Roman Gonzalez. Guys with that pedigree, boxing IQ. I think Golovkin at B level, he would always win. I just think when it gets to kind of the elite level and that, it's going to be a close fight. And he's just how can I put it? Not so much he can't get it done, but I just think in at elite level, he's fighting guys. Obviously like Canelo's at his level, and it's just again I don't know if it's politics and that or no, but I think. Well, I think if he got the fights way back earlier in the day, it'd be a bit different story. But again, he was a guy who had to try and build up his name. We've got to be thankful to HBO and that as well for kind of building him up. But again, it's just sad to see that a guy of his quality just hasn't got that biggish win that actually kind of put him over the top to kind of cement his legacy. Really, that's what he needs. A big top win.
I don't know, Andy, though. There's one win that would cement a legacy, and that's Canelo.
Yeah.
And it's fair to say he beat him.
Yeah.
That draw. It's fair to say he beat him. Aside from that, he's pretty much beaten everybody else. You look at that.
The guys have ducked him as well. I mean, remember Sergio Martinez ducked him as well. I remember Lou DiBella clearly coming out and saying, well, why would he take that fucking fight? Chavez, I think, was running about the weight then as well. Obviously, you call him Pirog, but he obviously got the injury. Who else at middleweight was kicking around about that era? It's just 2015, so you had Martin Murray, obviously, Daniel Gill, Felix Sturm. He did everything he could to avoid that
Sturm
fight.
definitely ducked him, Andy. Yeah.
Definitely, without doubt. I remember
Sturm as well.
WB, I remember that situation clearly. Was getting mooted.
He would have killed that version of Sturm. Sturm in his prime in the mid-2000s was a savvy operator, man. He was a very skilled boxer, good switch hitter. But that version of Sturm up at middleweight would have got destroyed.
I'm going on the version that was available at the time.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But no, that's what I mean. Like you look back and you think, well, yeah, he's not got that standout win. Yeah, it's fair to say he probably beat Canelo in the first fight where it was ruled a draw. After that, he's beaten, like the bigger names like Danny Jacobs. He got a favourable decision against Deviachenko. I've always wanted to see the fight with Billy Joe Saunders at 160. I've always been intrigued by that. Like I said, I rate Saunders at 160. I think he can pose problems for a lot of fighters at 160. I think the extra £8 doesn't suit him whatsoever. But I still think that's a decent fight, and that's a watchable fight as well. And that's one that I'd certainly be interested in seeing. Saunders Golovkin fight at 160. I don't think that is a bad fight whatsoever. Will we see it? Probably not. But I think that's a fight in the future that could easily be made. I mean, Saunders talks on about the big fights now. He fights Canelo, and after that, realistically, if he gets beat, he either walks away and never fights again because he gets paid a truckload of cash, or he continues and looks for the bigger names. Well, if Golovkin doesn't fight Canelo again, then why not go for that? I don't think that would be a bad fight to watch, to be honest. I don't really care about seeing Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders whatsoever. I mean, there's this demand for it, but by who? I really couldn't care. I'd rather see Golovkin Saunders than Saunders Smith, personally.
Just on Saunders, by the way, what about his dick move phoning Delta Airlines telling him, what and to be honest, his mate telling him, look, dump your phone. Fucking hell, man, what an arsehole. What a fucking arsehole.
It just sums him up, doesn't it? I mean, his career has been a PR disaster, really, hasn't it? I mean, look, he's done extremely well in the ring in terms of he's won everything that he's been asked to do, but out of the ring has just been a disaster. I mean, he never learns, does he? I mean, why would that be funny? Like letting an airline know that your mates are like Josh Taylor, Ben Davidson, and another guy they were with, and just saying, oh, he's got the coronavirus. They stop the flight, they pull him off, they send him away. The Americans don't fuck around with stuff like that. It's not just a case of put your hands out, slap wrist, don't do it again. There'd have been some serious security measures thrown into that. They chucked off the flight, delayed massively, and the twat just finds it funny. Do you remember what did he do to that? Was it like a druggie or something?
The crackhead. He says, go and get this go and suck his cock or something like that. Was it not?
Something like that.
And he's with Kid Galahad bullying this wee old guy, middle-aged guy, and that. What a fucking dirty wee snidey hinky day, man. Yeah,
he's an arsehole. He is an arsehole. He is not a nice person. It's rare, you don't see, like people come out and say, he's like misunderstood. For like what it's worth, you see people come out, like reacting to Tyson Fury's comments, what he said about all sorts of different communities. But you see that he's got, like quite a kind side and he's a decent person. You don't see that with Saunders whatsoever. You don't see that whatsoever. I think he's mouthy, he's all mouth. And he's not a likable person, and shit like this. It would be funny, if they it wasn't. But this is a serious incident we're talking about. He's saying one of his mates has got a virus that is fucking wiping out a percentage of the human population, and he's thinking it's funny to say one of his mates have got it as he's walking onto a fucking plane. It's something he will never ever learn from, and as we say. You look back and he is one person, Andy, that could have had the big wins, but will never get the big wins. Saunders said all the talent, done well to win a world title, realistically, because as we say, we've seen him blowing up to like just short 200 pounds and things like that. He's done well to get back down, as we say, put in that Lemieux performance, issues with drugs and things like that. Wrongfully, to be fair, I don't think he did anything wrong in that perspective. But then his career has just been non-starter. Frank got him just a gift of a shot against that Chef Fatih Sufi, for a vacant 168 belt.
In Stevenage,
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah. Look, he's a two-time world champion. He owes a lot of that to his fucking old promoter. Because, like I say, it's one thing you can't say. He gets fucking opportunities. And he has taken them. And look, he is obviously a stone's throw away from what's it called? From the Canelo fight. Will he win? Probably not at 160. I certainly would have given him more of a chance at that weight, but at 168, even though Canelo is not, like a big 168 either, he may look bulky, but it's arguably to say he's more natural weight. He's 154 rather than 168.
Thanks, Ozzy. Sunday evening, everybody. The boys are jumping on like wildfire here. Rapping Rob Kelly coming to you shortly. Also, David Lowback is on as well. Gabe, question flying in for you from John Heaton. Feel free to answer this one as you wish. Sometimes it's a bit difficult to come up with an answer for ones that are a little bit more... You need a bit of research maybe, Gabe, for this one. Anyway, he says, has anyone, Fury vs Wilder 3, has anyone got an example of a world-level KO artist getting beaten up and stopped and then reversing it in an immediate rematch? So feel free to tackle this one as you wish, Gabe.
Well, I don't think anybody would consider Gage a world-class KO machine, but as far like that's really specific. That question to me was really specific. So I was really having a hard time. That's the only one that I can think of is AJ over Ruiz in the rematch there. And that's about as close as I could get to meeting the qualifications of an immediate rematch. Somebody who has KO power. I mean, AJ has knocked out some guys. And he did get brutalized in the first Ruiz fight. So it fits those three key criteria. I really struggled on this question because I was looking for some other ones, but I came across some that they kind of fall into that way, but maybe not so much. So Gennady over Ward in the second fight. Gennady lost the first one. Joe Louis lost to Schmeling and then came back and beat him in the rematch. I really am drawing blanks on this one besides those few ideas.
You've done well, Gabe. You've done well now.
One other one that popped into my head was, I don't know if there may not be a lot of fans of Cornelius Boza Edwards, and it wasn't an immediate rematch, but he beat fuck, how did it go? Did he beat Bobby Chacon in the first fight, and then Bobby Chacon came back in the second fight and beat him? And the second fight was a hell of a fight. I don't remember if it was fight of the year. I think it may have been that year. I can't even tell you what year it was from, to be honest with you. But I've always enjoyed watching Cornelius Boza Edwards. So if any fans are looking for something to watch, maybe want to see an entertaining guy, of course Bobby Chacon was a excellent watch, but Boza Edwards beat him in the first match and then lost the second one. I'm pretty sure that's how that happened. It could have been reversed.
You're right, yeah. You are right.
Those are some of the best ones that I can think of, and again, they don't necessarily the Boza Edwards Chacon fight doesn't necessarily meet the immediate rematch criteria. Like, I think that one's going to eliminate quite a bit of back and forths. There was one other one that just popped in my head. Fuck, what was it? Holyfield and Riddick, Big Daddy Bo.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was immediate. And I believe Holyfield lost the first one and won the second. Is that right?
That's right.
Boy, we could.
Lost the third.
Now the memory's working here. Yeah, I'm gonna stop there. Maybe somebody else has a good shout out on this one. But I mean, and I think if you really are struggling to find something to watch, any of those that I just mentioned, shoot me a message on Twitter, and I'll go back over these again for you. I'll tweet out something, that way you can look back at these, because those are some excellent fights right there.
What's your Twitter, Gabe?
At GL Boxing Asylum.
There you go. Get on it. Get tweeting Gabe. Jason in the chat says Gatti over Ward if you consider Gatti a KO artist. Gabe mentioned there Cornelius Boza Edwards. He's now working in the Mayweather gym, as far as I'm aware. Andy, did you want to throw something in there quickly?
Yeah, it's not an immediate one, but it's also an opponent who actually fought the same guy. What it was, Vic Darchinian. He beat Glenn Danair back, I think it was around October 2006 or something like that. And then his brother Nonito actually fought him about a year later and smashed him up in 5 rounds. A great knockout.
Right.
So just to throw that one in there.
And if you remember, Andy, Glenn was meant to be the big cheese, wasn't he? He was going to be the prospect who was going to go far, but Nonito ended up superseding him.
He did. I think he's the oldest of them as well. I think he competed quite well in the Olympics. No, the Olympics, sorry, amateur-wise. I think I don't know if he was in the trials for the Olympics and stuff, but he picked up a few regional belts and that as well. As you say, mate, he was definitely highly thought of. But again, proven. He could be a highly touted amateur, but pro game's totally different. But he was no slouch himself, Nonito as well, because he had a few US amateur titles and stuff. He had Olympic trialists, but clearly the far better pro as well.
Rob Kelly's on the call. How are you sounding, Rob? Are you safe out there?
Yeah. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rob. Go ahead.
Be safe out there. It just got me thinking, that question is, if Canelo was to fight Callum Smith, would he have fought 3 sets of boxing brothers? Because didn't he fight Cotto and Cotto's brother? Did he fight one of the Chavez's as well, or am I getting confused? And one of his brothers fought one of Chavez's brothers?
No, he fought. He didn't fight him, did he?
Maybe Roberto Alvarez or something. Maybe fought Chavez or something. Did he? I don't know. Maybe I could get confused. One of the listeners could help us out there.
Hang on, I've just pulled up his record there in my second. No, I'll tell you what, he fought Jose Cotto and he fought Miguel Cotto.
I knew that one, but I thought he had fought maybe a Chavez brother. Definitely one of his brothers then fought Chavez as well. You know, the Smith brothers.
Omar, was it, no? Isn't there an Omar Chavez floating about somewhere?
I'm sure the Margarito no fight one of the brothers.
You expect me to believe Omar was a stully?
Did he fight one of the Alvarez brothers?
Yeah, well, look, it's gone fucking mad now, isn't it? What the fuck?
Interesting point there, though. Can you imagine if he was to fight Callum Smith, he should have fought 3 of the fighting family, yeah?
Yeah, no,
fucking Smith and just fucking punch holes in him.
Get Smigga down now the weight at heavyweight. Smigga at heavyweight.
Put him on the CBD.
Oh, fuck. Well, big week, lads.
Big week indeed. Rob, I brought you on for sombre news. I know you'd be the main man to talk to about the death of old Uncle Roger. I was saying earlier, his finest moment that I remember would probably be as a trainer when he jumped in the ring to try and have a go at Zab Judah. But you probably remember the career more than us guys.
Yeah, I mean, I remember. I can't say to you that I remember watching him fighting back in the day. I've seen highlights of his fights, but like back then, like you weren't.
Rob, are you being smothered? Just losing you there, Rob.
Hold on one second.
He's just putting his face mask on, isn't he, while he raves,
his gas mask.
He's getting the messages set in his face. That's what he's doing. See, he's not even denying it, a dirty man.
He's otherwise engaged, Andrew.
Oh, he's tongue fucking on the road, like.
Someone's bundled him into the back of the car. I'm worried about him.
Oh, I hope it's not the Kinahans, by the way.
I don't know. Flip me, is he alright? He's disappeared.
He literally has.
Rob.
Be safe.
At least they've had the courtesy to mute. So if there is, if there is,
there is.
I think I'm back.
Oh, here we are. You're right.
I don't know what the fuck.
You've escaped the intruders, Rob. No,
Rob needs to go back. He needs to go into the fields of Wexford, by the way, because oh, there he is.
Hold on, look, I think I'm in a bit of a dodgy spot there. Hold on, give me a sec.
I'll
come back to this. No, but I don't remember watching Roger fighting back then, but I do remember reading about him in Ring magazine, and they had a brilliant article on him. And his nickname, the Black Mamba, and all that. So I always knew about him, and I knew he had fought Chavez and stuff, but I'd only really back then read it. I never kind of, watched his career in real time. But obviously with Floyd's kind of dominance, you look back and you look back at guys like Rocky Lockridge fighting and stuff like. So I don't remember sitting down to watch him. I would have caught him like on undercards and stuff here and there, but like not. I couldn't say I was an expert on his career, but he was a brilliant trainer, yeah. And like most folks don't know shit about boxing, and it'll go down in history forever. Like it's one of the best fucking phrases, like, because it's so true. Like when he has added me to a boxing Facebook group this month, I don't know who it was. Might have been Andy, was it? I wish the fuck they hadn't had me. Every day people are putting up these debates. Well, who would have won in this? People are fucking clueless about boxing, really, for the most part. Like outside of hardcore, it was like they really haven't a fucking clue what they're talking about. Like, so he hit the nail on the head with that. Allen. Yeah, just absolute bangers. Like, and that's what he was getting at, wasn't he? Most folks don't know shit about boxing. So, rest in peace, Uncle Roger. Definitely a brilliant trainer for Floyd. The mitt work aside, I think that's all for show and stuff. But he definitely. There's, I know there's a kind of a myth about Floyd that he didn't need any coaching, that he was just that good. He didn't listen. After a certain stage, after 15, 16 years as a pro, but Roger Mayweather definitely helped develop that style for Floyd, and how effective was it, and how brilliant was he under fucking Roger Mayweather actually in the early part of his career. So, I always liked Roger Mayweather, to be honest with you. I think he's an interesting character.
That's the thing, though. If you look at Roger, I mean, I'm not an expert. I've not seen all his fights. Now I've seen about 4 or 5 of them. I remember Sammy Serrano wasn't a great champion. He was boring as fuck to watch, but Mayweather thankfully ended his reign. But he was very, very good boxer. Very, very good boxer. He was, especially if you look like 130, very long arms, good right hand. Problem was he didn't have the chin. Just didn't have the chin.
Yeah.
But
Chavez blew him out, like, didn't he?
Yeah, but
he went the distance with Costa's at the end of his career too.
But he also showed improvement against Chavez in the rematch, even though he got pulled out in the 10th or something like that. But he did show improvements. But it was a very good fight. I just think some of those fights. I mean, he's got, I don't know how many fights he had, but he was definitely well into the 40s. Maybe even more, I would say. But you can imagine some of those fights and fighters that he took, and some of those knockouts. No wonder he had the.
But that's it. Like, if you're fighting Costa Zoo at the end of your career.
Yeah.
72 fights he had.
72. Jesus.
Yeah.
Christ. How many of them are
Yeah, no,
knockouts?
that's sad.
By the way? How many times did
He
he get
got knocked out 6 times in 13 losses, and he knocked out 35 in 59 wins.
There you go. 58-year-old to just
Yep.
shows you. He was a very good.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
What?
Okay, Rob, we'll come back to you very shortly. Let's check in on Dave the Hater Lowback. Make sure he's okay and safe out there. How are you, Dave?
Yeah, more or less. How you people doing?
We're all holding up, thankfully, Dave. What's happening in your neck of the woods? Has it touched you? Have you been touched?
It's possible.
Is it caress your balls yet, Dave?
I have some of the symptoms. Nothing bullocks related. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I could have it and have like a minor version of it. You know, there's some people are going around with asymptomatic variants of it. I just don't want to infect anybody old, so I'm kind of keeping low profile. Editing
your pants in.
Pants?
No, keep the dick in your pants. They want to infect old people.
Well, yeah, that's going to be my real challenge for this whole pandemic.
So,
How's Cindy holding up, Dave? Is she alright?
Who?
what symptoms you got, by the way?
Cindy, your mother?
Oh, Cindy's doing good. Yeah, Cindy's doing fine.
So
Did
what's
you forget she was your mother for a second there?
It's Mother's Day as well today. He forgets what his own fucking mum's name is. Jesus Christ, that's disgraceful. Dave, what's your symptoms, by the way?
I thought he said Cindy, like another well-known boxing asylum.
Return to Cindy.
Is it true that Tommy's got her pregnant?
Yeah, June, July. He's asked me to be the godfather.
Well, that's shocking because I wasn't sure she was female.
Here, I'm asking for a third time. What's your symptoms, by the way?
Oh, nothing. Just
Just nothing.
mucus
So
in
you
the throat, cough, sneezing, that sort of stuff. No fever.
That's a cold you've got then. That's not the fucking virus, man. Don't look for attention, you fucking Sam. She's named Sam Jones. It's no Sam. What's his name? Sam Smith. That fucking. What's his name?
Oh, him?
Him. What a fucking.
Or whatever he is. Or...
What a fucking dauber that is, by the way. And the thing is, the fucking press even.
Excuse me, Andy.
Damn, sorry.
They.
Fuck
They.
you.
They.
Fuck,
You're
fuck
going to
you.
hurt their feelings.
Well, I was just getting to that because I'm saying, wait, the papers actually get credence to this wanker saying by calling that person they. It's a fucking bloke. He's got a dick. He's got 2 balls. He's a fucking bloke. I don't give a fuck what he is. Sam Smith, you're a fucking male. Stop being a fucking nonce, man. Stop fucking looking for attention. I don't give a fuck if you're dying. You're in a £12 million mansion. You could fucking sit in the bathroom and fucking isolate. Try to be stuck in a house with a fucking wife and 2 kids for fucking 3 weeks, man. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, I've heard, Andy, that the missus is driving you a bit mad. Is that right?
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay,
listen,
Joy.
mate.
Hey, there's a few in that cup. I think.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Listen, mate. It's at times like these that I wish we had a fucking gun club.
Andy's been self-isolating the last 10 years, haven't you?
Fuck.
Getting on to me tonight over coming on the pod because it's Mother's Day. You're not my mother, like. Fucking hell.
Well, thankfully, it's not Mother's Day in the States. I have enough to worry about.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right, Dave, do you want to talk some boxing?
Yeah. What were you were talking about rematches and immediate rematches?
Nah, listen, I've got a different question for you, so it depends on what you want to take. How do you want to take it?
Take it from behind like Donnie.
Excellent stuff. This is a good one for you, Dave. It's nice
Yours.
and easy. It's coming from Joe Kennedy. He said, Dave, if there was only one belt for each division, who would the champions be? So let's go division by division for you then. You're the expert on this. If there was only one belt for each division, who would the champions be? So who would be the heavyweight champion if there was only one belt then?
Are we assuming that some fights would get made and that the belt holders would fight each other?
He hasn't specified, so right as of now, who do you think would be the top of the tree? I suppose you can take it on what they've already done, what belts they're holding, or who you think would beat all of the other guys. Probably who you think would beat all the other guys, I would say.
Yeah,
so
okay.
Based on that fact.
I'll go with that. Yeah, like the best guy in each division who would.
Yeah.
All right. Well, obviously Tyson Fury. Are we still counting Usyk as a cruiserweight?
No.
No, he's a heavyweight. He's already fought a heavyweight, so he's a heavyweight now.
He fought with the spoon,
Bradis.
hasn't
Bradis then.
he? Okay, fair enough.
Shit.
Baturbiev, maybe?
Yeah, I'm
question?
gonna say it's got to be Baturbiev. I was
Okay.
thinking Canelo for a second, but nah. Yeah, but he's probably got like one of the best wins. I wish I could say Andre Ward. I wish he would come back because I know he'd kick ass. He would destroy Baturbiev. No, but yeah, I'm gonna say Baturbiev is champion of light heavyweight. 168. Fuck no, I'm not giving it to Callum Smith. David Benavidez, I think, beats everybody. Although
Even Caleb Plant.
Yeah, I think he beats Plant. I think he outworks him. He wouldn't look pretty doing it. I think he would win though. But yeah, that's probably the best fight to see. Is that happening next? I heard are Plant fighting another?
I hope
jobber?
so. I hope so. It'd be a great fight, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's the best thing that can be made. I should say John Ryder. He wears our gear. John Ryder, champion of 168, 160. Golovkin, because he beat Canelo twice. First time it was very clear. Second time it was close. I admit it. Yeah, it was definitely close. Still had it for Golovkin. 154. 154 is interesting to me. I know it gets some complaining on here, but I find it interesting because the fights do get made, which is
that's true. I agree.
Generally speaking. So wow, I mean that one's tough too to judge who's the best because who the hell's everybody's like taking a loss at this point, basically. Probably Jermell. I think he. I think he would beat. It was Jermall who beat J-Rock, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jermell, I think, would beat him.
What about Kell Brook? He's got the division on notice.
Oh, for fuck's sake. If he's armed with a knife, then he's the champion. But yeah, I'm gonna have to say Jermell because he beat what's his face in his Tony the Tiger something. I can't remember. What's his last name?
Harrison.
Yeah, Harrison. I like that was a good fight, but yeah, Charlo
it was a good fight.
Ended up winning it. I think.
What about Jason Rosario there? Because he beat J-Rock to take a couple of straps.
Yeah. I have to see him again though.
He hasn't got a body of work, has he? Really?
I want to see what he does in the future. Maybe match him against Hurd. I think Hurd though is one of those guys waiting to be taken, and I think Charlo would just land.
Rosario will be a tough out.
Prime's
You know?
gone,
Rosario
Dave.
won't give anybody an easy fight.
His prime's gone, I think, Dave. Jarrett Hurd's. I told you all that. I said his window was very short with his style. 2 years max. It's gone.
Yeah. I think I said this before when we were talking about his last fight, but like when I envision certain fighters, you have a sort of image in their mind of them doing something. Usually, for me, when I picture Jarrett Hurd, I see him and his blonde head absorbing a flesh punch instead of him actually doing damage. That's the enduring image in my mind of Jarrett Hurd, is him actually.
His hair looks like one of those fancy mops you get on QVC. You know, the ones where you can change them when they're dirty. It's like that type of thing.
Soon, that's all he's going to be good for is mopping the floor because I mean.
Tyson Fury could turn him upside down and clean the kitchen floor.
I'm sure you're going to have offended someone with that. With
that's
the
what we're here
racial
for.
implication. Yeah.
I never even thought about that, to be honest.
Oh, you got to think about these things. That's how you stay woke.
Nah.
What's his name?
Okay. Stay
Michael
broke.
Gibson. Yeah. Where were we? 154. Yeah, I say Charlo for now. Rosario could show us something. 147. Another tough one. I'm going to say Crawford until we see Spence again, which sucks because Crawford doesn't fight anybody, and I don't blame him necessarily, but you gotta call out these fights. You gotta get names. Is it true that he's scheduled to fight fucking Van Heerden next?
Who?
Crawford.
Fucking better no. I'm fucking serious, man.
Who's he meant to be fighting?
I know.
Chris Van Heerden.
I heard that. I heard that from someone. I don't know if it's true.
Surely no, man. Surely fucking no.
It would be an outrage if that was really his next opponent. But yeah, I think he would beat Spence at least since even before Spence's accident, I probably favored Crawford slightly post accident, and with by all accounts Spence is continuing to not live the life and still partying and all that shit. Yeah, I'm gonna favor Crawford, especially since the Porter fight was really very close, in my opinion.
It's crazy though for Crawford, like, because who the fuck is he going to fight? Like Uncle Al has the top 10 welterweights pretty much on the PBC. Like, he hasn't fucking really got many options, like, has he?
And he's 32.
Unless he
he's
goes
32 years of age.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Window's short as well. He's window's short as well.
I wonder will he look for a bigger fight at 54, even though, like, I don't think he belongs up there.
Knocked it out. He's not wanting to move to 54, so he said anyway.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to fight next, man. He needs a big fight.
There's nobody. Teixeira's got Castano, Banditry, and other belts are tied up by the PBC, so that's a non-starter.
He'll fight the winner of Taylor and Ramirez.
Hopefully that's
eventually. Yeah.
That's
milk him a
enough.
couple of other fights first.
The thing is, that's another year away, mate. We just don't know where we are with this fucking thing at the minute. I mean, they're talking 18 months at best. Do we get a vaccine fixed out? Who fucking knows? Crawford might be retired by the time we get back to normal here.
Speaking of Taylor, he's my guy for 140. He hasn't fought at 147 yet, has he?
No, yet.
Yeah. So yeah, but he's destined to move up. So yeah, 140 for him, 135 Loma, and then below that, like I know it's 130. I don't even know who is best there. So I mean, below that is.
Okay, hang on. I'll give you some names. Come on. We've got Bechelt, Santa Cruz, Diaz, or Herring.
Santa Cruz. Fucking super featherweight. Fucking hell.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that, they move between divisions, and it's hard to, gauge how good they are at 130.
4-weight world champion, TBE.
Yeah. So I'm gonna leave it to wiser minds to pick the lower divisions. I've talked for long enough.
Rakimov. He's the man at super feather. Rakimov's the man.
I've never even seen him fight.
Casual.
Fair enough.
Right. Who wants to pick it up then?
What's the question?
Andy?
I'd go with Bechelt.
Bechelt?
What's the question, mate? The top fighter in each division?
Yeah, if there wasn't all these shitty belts, who would be the man basically who would beat everybody else?
I'll agree with everybody. I'll go with Berchelt. He's fought like Vargas, and he fought, what was the Japanese guy's name again? He was always in wars.
Miura.
Takashi Miura. I'll go for, it's a toss up between
Russell, I'd say.
You think Russell? I was going to say Warrington because he's defeated all his domestic rivals, and that.
That's a good point, Andy. It depends what your criteria is. You see, whether it's what they've already done or who you think would beat everybody if they were to fight.
100%, because we did say
on that.
Yeah, because
it'd be Warrington for me, but Russell I think would beat everybody else.
Yeah, I'm Russell.
Right, okay, but I'm going to go Warrington because to me, for a guy who, especially in the old days, if you beat all your domestic rivals, you're next in line for a world title shot. That's how it used to work.
Fair enough.
To me that carries a wee bit of weight. Santa Cruz basically does what Daddy Al tells him to do. Coming down in weight, I'll go Akhmadliev. Navarrete might get a few votes, but he's dead at the weight now, isn't he? Inoue.
Vargas is shit, isn't he?
Yeah. Inoue, Ray Vargas, man. He's another one got caught up in the drugs situation and that as well. 118, I'll go Inoue without doubt. 115, my man's back. Choco Gonzalez.
Really?
115. Oh yeah, man, come off it. And Cajas.
Terrible pick. That should be Juan Estrada.
Estrada, yeah, I said Estrada to be honest.
Okay, but he's got the win over Estrada as well. So that's
if we're going off now, though,
I'll go Tanaka at flyweight, but Martinez is definitely
Martinez, I would say, yeah. Mathalane's past it, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken Shiro.
Well, not past it. Sorry, not past it. But I don't think he would beat Martinez. Martinez is a bundle of energy. He'd be a handful for anybody.
Who also, by the way, got caught up in that drug situation like Ray Vargas and Canelo with the clenbuterol. Just put that out there as well. Ken Shiro light flyweight, and I'll go for Wanghe Mariothian at minimum weight. So that's TBE 50. Is it 54? No, I think it is. Floyd, where are you, baby?
Great stuff. Good job, lads. We got through that well. Thanks to Joe Kennedy for throwing that one in. Always good for a question or two. We'll be coming to Danny Young shortly. Ozzy, first of all. Well, this is one of Danny Young's questions, actually, right up your street. Danny says, given that my tickets are cancelled for Dubois versus Joyce, I wanted to see how far Ozzy thinks that these two will actually go. I think Dubois wins a title of some sort and KOs Joyce on what I have seen so far. Will they need trainer changes? What do they need to work on, etc.? So who's going to go the furthest? Pretty much Dubois against Joyce.
I'll side with Dubois. I don't see Joyce at the moment. I think he needs to fight for a world title sooner than Dubois does. Do I see him beating Joshua or Fury? No. And I've openly said I think Dubois beats Joe Joyce. I think Dubois will come through some sticky patches, but I think he'll get him out of there. And I think that's probably pretty much... Joyce may have one more big fight left in him in terms of, in avenues to explore and things like that. Trainer changes, we see enough with Joe Joyce already. How many has he had now? 4? 3 trainers, 4 changes. So we definitely don't need to see him for the anymore. Moving around. And as for Dubois, if he's happy at the Peacock with Martin Bowers, then why change? The one thing we can say about Dubois is he has improved every fight. He's become more mature. He picks his shots. He's shown variety. At first, it was just, a jab and a big straight right hand. But he's shown he's got a hell of a lot more to him than just a big punch. He can box. His jab is excellent.
I was thinking the other day. I know he's happy where he is, but I was thinking about him the other day, and how I'd love to see him go to the Kronk. I'd love to see what they could do with him with his knockout power. I'd say he'd improve.
Dubois.
Yeah.
See the thing for me, this fight, right? I get what Ozzy says, and I'm kind of siding with Dubois, but I'm on record as saying, how's that chin? How's that gas tank? And if Joyce gets up that steam, keeps it going 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th round. Has Dubois got the chin? Has he got the stamina to keep up with him? I don't know.
He's a big unit, isn't he, Joyce? For that, yeah.
And he keeps the hands moving as well, man. I don't care if you think he's pedestrian, he's slow, he's cumbersome. I don't give a fuck. He comes forward, he fucking puts it on you, and he keeps the hands pumping, and that's all you can ask. That's all you can ask.
He's so hittable though. He's so hittable.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah. And in reality, who has he really been clocked by? I mean, Big Bermain was teeing off on it, but Stavern was in no shape whatsoever. And I still insist Bryant Jennings hurt him in that fight.
He did.
Jennings just didn't have enough to capitalise on it. Now, Dubois, we have seen he can hit hard. And he's destroyed pretty much everything bar Kingpin that was in front of him. And I think now it's no achievement, but I think he would get Kingpin out of there because he's developed and he does pick more shots and things like that. But it's all right seeing, you keep coming forward. But Dubois is like pussy puncher. He hits hard and it's not, just like winging these shots in there, pick shots. They're coming off a jab and things like that. And as you say, Joyce is a pedestrian. He's sluggish, he's slow. Yeah, he's got an engine and he's shown he has a chin. But he's been stopped before in the amateurs with his big gloves off.
Yeah,
on arguably smaller heavyweights than what Dubois is.
But he's also beat top amateurs like, say, Bakadur Jali of the Uzbekistan, who's been coming into pro ranks just laying waste to the place.
I'm not disputing that. As an amateur and as a pro, Joyce has operated at a better level. I mean, the Jennings win is better than a lot of the heavyweight division have got at the moment.
Good schooled up music though.
Yeah, well, he got battered. He got absolutely battered off him. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, there is no embarrassment in saying that whatsoever. I mean. Joyce's Joyce's record as a pro is far more impressive. I mean, the Ustinov win, would Dubois beat him? Yes. Would Dubois beat Stavern, the shape he was in? Yes. Joe Hanks? Yes. Kaladze? Yes. Lemroy Thomas, he would have put him in a coma. And then Fatty and Lewison as well.
Palmer. Wasn't it Palmer he fought?
Johnny
that big
Palmer,
freaking stiff idiot.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, I mean, look, would Dubois beat...
What about Dubois against Jennings, Ozzy? Sorry.
I would take Dubois in that fight as well. I really rate the guy. Like I said, I really rate him. I like the way he goes about his action. Like I said, he clearly lives the life. And one thing I do like about him as well is, he's not like a Joshua, where Joshua is massive and loves bulking up and, like carries a load of muscle. I think Dubois, he's not, that shredded. So it's not, about you need to pump oxygen around him and things like that. And he lives the life. He's getting quality sparring. And as I say, the guy's improved and he does what we want and what he should be doing to opponents, which is blasting them out of there in a round or two. He doesn't carry any people. He thinks, right, you're there, I'm going to fucking knock you out. And he's quite cold-hearted, isn't he? I think more of his personality is coming out now, and I think he's bang up for this Joyce fight. I mean, we saw a bit of, like pushing and shoving. We've not seen that before with him. The Gorman fight was one from, where a lot of people were picking Gorman, to completely outbox him and make him look silly. Well, Nathan Gorman looked silly in that fight, and Dubois battered him. Absolutely battered him.
But also, Ozzy, Dubois, I thought, showed good ability to change tactics. Whenever his corner identified a weakness in Gorman, he was able to change, and that ability, that nuance will serve him well as he moves up the levels and guys don't fall as easily.
Yeah, exactly. So, and of course, and look, we'll always, and that's what you can always judge off. Your power will only get you so far, and it is ultimately judged off, well, what happens if you take the power? But he's not, I think he's better than just, like this big, like a big puncher. I think he's a lot better than that. They have tried to match him harder, and fighters have simply turned it down. Christian Hammer wanted the best part of about 300k to fight Dubois. It was laughed off. So, like they were looking, at these, like, I'm not going to put Hammer in, but, like European level fighters, and the cash just simply isn't there, you're not going to pay these sort of fighters, like big money, when ultimately I think Dubois would have smashed Hammer to pieces. As I say, it's a great fight. It's one that I think everyone was excited for. They'd done quite a lot of tickets, 12, 13, I think pushing 14,000. So from that perspective, it was going well. I mean, this break for everybody is luck. I mean, it's all right saying, like, as a fighter, keep in the gym and stuff, but you can't overtrain for it at the moment because you don't know when you're going to be getting back in that ring. I mean, you don't see a lot of Dubois, unless, they're doing interviews and stuff, but there's no doubt he'll be in the ring now, like constantly training every day. It's going to be interesting to see, but I certainly think Dubois will win a version of a world title. He's quite highly ranked already, but we know Frank is good at timing opportunities, and I think the timing is there, and he's got the ability to wait on that as well. I mean, if you look at the rankings now, I mean, the easiest question in it is out of the top, like the top 15. Like, I'll open this up. Who would you see Dubois and Joyce beating now at the moment? Do you not think Dubois is at that level yet? Do you not think Joyce is at that level yet? Or do you think they'd come unstuck against more of the top 15 than they'd beat or something like that?
Well, Dubois can improve, but Joyce better get a move on because he's older, isn't he? A lot older.
Well, I think Joyce is never going to improve on what he is. He is what he is. I mean, okay, let's think about it. You think about titleist or ex-titleist. Put both in with Joe Parker. How do you see that fight happening with either of those guys, Joe Parker?
Ooh, I would probably. It depends what.
I think it'd be tough. Parker's very solid and experienced to that level, if not spectacular.
Good amateur as well.
But it depends what version of Parker turns up, because if it's the one against Dillian Whyte, then you can favour probably both fighters, because Parker was shite against Dillian Whyte until that last round. He was great. It was lackadaisical. Oh, I'd take Dubois to beat Chisora now. I'd take Joyce to beat Chisora as well. I think Chisora's washed. He's just got the public backing now, because he ironed out Big David Price, but who doesn't?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
Oscar Rivas.
It's hard to say with him, isn't it?
Yeah, it is hard to say. Yeah.
Need to see him again against somebody decent.
Yeah.
Michael Hunter.
Yeah, Hunter. I was going to mention Hunter actually. Hunter would be a tough old out for anybody at heavyweight.
Yeah, I think Hunter Joyce would be a good fight. Actually.
Another fighter who I'm going to lay my card on the table here is I've not seen him since the Chisora fight, but Caballel, the German champ, the ex-European champion.
Yeah, he's a bit of an enigma, isn't he, Caballel? We need to see more of him.
Exactly, but
I forgot about him. What is he? Is he 4? When did he last fight?
I was just going to say he's ranked in the top. When did you hear this man? By the way, he's actually ranked in the top 4 with IBF.
Is he really?
Yes,
I mean, his last fight was against that Andrei Rudenko, who, I mean, again, yeah, he's just a tough Eastern European heavyweight and stuff like that. He's been very inactive. It's one fight a year.
Must have promotional issues in.
I think he did sign a deal in America from memory.
With Top Rank, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
And this was the guy who...
We don't know about Caballel, though, because is he really good, or was Chisora just unmotivated and fat? You know, we need to see more.
Remember when Joshua got knocked out of Ruiz and that? He was the first guy rumoured to have knocked him out in sparring.
Knocked him out, yeah.
Well, was it him or Diveco, though? We don't know, do we?
Yeah, after his last fight as well, you're like, think to yourself, how the fuck did you knock out Joshua, man?
Hey, I'll tell you what, Diveco, you know, if he slimmed down to cruiserweight, he's a very, very skillful guy, but he's just too fat, small.
Oh, so small of it. What about Dillian Whyte fat shaming Andy Ruiz? The cheeky bastard! Did he have the fucking audacity to fucking look at himself after that fight in Saudi Arabia? Fucking... What? Hilarious, the boys are saying, no, sorry, hilarious. Gabe,
I'd take them both to beat Hellenius.
Yeah, they'd both beat Hellenius.
I'd take them both to beat Hellenius.
Yeah, without doubt.
Brazil.
What about Gerald Washington, the Black Cock?
Nobody beats Hellenius. He's going to make all cry like little babies whenever he goes and destroys the corpse of AJ and takes all the shit. And my immaculate prophecy will be fulfilled.
What about Wilder?
A Wilder against Dubois or Joyce?
Yeah.
I'd knock them both out.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Dubois would walk straight onto him.
I would take Wilder. At the moment, I'd take Wilder, without a doubt. I think Wilder's the second best heavyweight in the world. I've always said I'd take him to beat Joshua, and I still think he would. I mean, you think Joshua would adapt the do you think Joshua would be, you know, he's seen Wilder get schooled and things like that, and he's going to try and plant his feet. You think Joshua would have the balls to stand in the pocket with Wilder at the moment? Absolutely no chance. I mean,
there'd come a point where Wilder would hit him, wouldn't he, and go off on his frenzy, and I couldn't see AJ getting out of that.
No way, exactly. Yeah, I mean, look, he was on the back foot against Ruiz, and you know, he boxed his way to a safe points win, and he showed he can adapt, and he's more than just, you know, the big puncher. But Wilder's a different specimen, and yeah, Fury. You know, people say, oh yeah, he was shown, you know, like he was shown the way to beat Deontay Wilder. Yeah, but people are forgetting. There's no fucker else who's 6'9", has the reach like Tyson Fury and can move like him. Fury's an enigma on his own. I mean, there's no one like him in that division. So at the end of the day, he's shown how a big 6'9" heavyweight who moves like him can beat Deontay Wilder. But no one else has come close, really. So I mean, look, you can't write Wilder off at all. I mean, the next fight back, if it ever happens, who knows? But that's different. But after that, I would still take Wilder to beat everybody else at the moment, without a doubt. The punch power was freaky. He punches as hard as any. He's the hardest hitter on the planet, isn't he? Without a doubt, and probably one of the hardest hitters in the division ever. It's not wrong in saying that. And Andy always says it right. It's not just power. He evaporates people. He leaves people on the floor in a fucking vegetative state.
Yeah, rewires them.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, they are fucked. They are gone. So, but no, back to the what's it called as well. I mean, look, I'd take Joyce and Dubois to beat Kalnaki, who we saw, you know, who Hellenius beat. You know, like I've never really been impressed. Hammer, I'd take them both to beat them too.
Yeah. What about Pulev?
Oh no, I'd take them both. I don't rate Pulev whatsoever. I think he's man-made for him. Aging, heavyweight, stiff, will stand in front of them. They can both.
Is he stiff though, Pulev? I think Pulev's style could be quite awkward.
Oh aye, he can bang. He's got the high guard. He's got the left hook, the right hand.
He
He had
that flicking jab and in and out, and
he
I
had-
don't know. I
he
think
had-
he could be.
He had
awkward.
Klitschko thinking, fuck. He had Klitschko thinking, what the fuck have I just been hit with here, man? And Klitschko, I'll tell you what, right now, he made Klitschko look the best ever version of himself that I've seen a Klitschko for like early days. Pulev hit him with a shot that fucking got Klitschko thinking, oh shit. So what does Klitschko do? He goes right on the front foot, bangs him
Yeah.
up, left hook.
He bought the best out of Klitschko,
He
didn't he?
did
That night.
He did that.
Klitschko
No, okay,
packed
that's years and years ago. But
Yeah.
it's still to be respected. And the thing is, that Bogdan was the Bogdan fight. He got badly cut. That was the fight after he got caught with the shushu fucking kissing gate, whatever it was.
Oh, Bogdan Dino, yeah, that's right.
He got a bad cut in that fight, and showed great resilience and a wee bit of know-how to get through it as well and get the stoppage. I think, well, a late stoppage, I think it was, but it was a bad cut as well at the same time.
Yeah. No, I'm not sold on Pulev personally. I don't think. He may have thingy. And look, I always say that these are big blokes. He's like 18 stone, 19 stone. If you get hit by him, it's gonna hurt. But I mean, look at what's he knocked out around 50% of the fighters and stuff like that. I mean, he's been very inactive recently. He got a win over Hughie Fury, but Fury had the awful cut. It was a disappointing display, but that made a difference. And like as you say, look at these were his last 6 fights. Chisora, which he won on a split, and I think that was a generous split to Chisora. Samuel fucking Peter, Kevin Johnson, Hughie Fury, Bogdan Dinu, and Rydell Booker. It's not exactly the best prep, is it?
No, not really.
Someone's asking in the chat there about Hergovich, who was it? I forget who it was, but Hergovich. Does anybody rate him? I think the question was.
I don't rate him.
I don't rate him either. I don't.
I think
That last fight was disgusting against Molino. He just rabbit punched him into submission, and nobody did anything.
I think he's got ability. I don't think he's, I think he'll contest world titles and he'll win like a European title and things like that.
Yeah.
But the Sauerlands bang on about how good he is and how quick they want to match him and stuff like that. But look,
I've seen him live, and to be honest, what I've seen live is a little. And it's the same what I see on the TV.
He's very stiff, didn't you, Andy?
Stiff.
Yeah.
It's very, very basic with his punch output. Just the lack of variety. I mean, I'm not saying that, especially in this day and age, where you can pick up a fake belt or stuff like that if you get politically, put in the position and stuff. But I'm sorry, I expect more. I mean, that Serbia, I think it was either a Serb or a Bosnian he fought that night in Latvia that I remember, and I'm saying to myself, this guy, he get better fucking workout in the gym and a sparring session. The guy was fucking awful. Again, his knee head movement, no upper body movement, kind of jab, right hand, you say, can be quite dirty, can grab on the inside and kind of hook and uppercuts and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't rate him. And
what show was this Sunday?
That
Were
was
you there?
I was at the Usyk Brothers card in Riga, so that was back 3
He fought
years.
He fought Tom Little.
No, it was a Serbian guy who fought on that card that night. He fought Tom Little.
He fought Tom Little on that on the Usyk. I'm on his record now.
Is it? Was it?
On the Brady Usyk card, he fought Tom Little.
Was it Tom Little? Who's
Little was on a Bosnian license, maybe, Andy.
Oh, wait a minute here. I need to check that one out then. Who the fuck? I'm gonna have to pull this up. I'm raging now that I fucking.
I'm looking at the right thing here. Who would you have been? He fought some. He fought Big Sexy Turner, didn't he, Steve? Do you remember that?
We watched that one.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he fought Big Sexy Turner.
Did Sexy go the distance with him?
He did, yeah. Only one of 2 fighters to take in the distance. Kingpin was the
Sexy
other.
beat the password. Crack the code.
He did, yeah. We won money on that.
Oh, that's what it was. It was fucking Otto Wallen. That's who it was. He fought this fucking Bosnian kid. Look at that record. So Otto Wallen, that's who it was.
Right.
It was Otto Wallen. But yeah, again, Hergovich, just a matter of who he fought.
Gonna have to pull you out of this Alice in Wonderland hole, boys. No, you're right. I just want to get the other lads in. Adam Smido-Smith jumped on the call, you see. Ryan Doyle threw in a question. He said, can we have a doctor versus doctor showdown between the good doctor and Doc Asif to discuss how a fight between AJ and Marius Wack would go down? Could you imagine that,
Well,
Ryan?
if they're
Could
two
you
fucking
imagine
doctors, we'll get them on to discuss a fucking vaccine or something like that, no?
that? Oh, dear. Smido, how you sounding? Are you safe? More to the point, we are worried about you.
No, you don't need to be worried about me. Wigan is a haven in the UK. Nothing will happen.
He's on the aqua soup.
We'd survive a
Smido,
nuclear.
you're on the aqua soup, bro.
We would survive a nuclear attack in Wigan. Don't worry about that.
In Wigan. It's just which virus going to get you first, Smido. Never mind about Corona.
I hope Josh Winters doesn't survive.
Well, he's not very popular around here.
Can I imagine? Isn't he fucking very popular up here either, the little cunt?
Right, Smido, what have you been doing to keep up with your boxing fix? Probably nothing.
Sorry, Steve.
You're a Victor Meldrew now?
I've got a funny story, Steve Smith, before you come in here, right, with Josh Windass, right? So, me and Tommy were at the Josh Taylor O'Hara Davis fight, right? And Wes Fotheringham, Rangers goalkeeper, and Josh Windass, who was a Rangers midfielder at the time, were both at that event, right? It's fucking true story. And I said, I couldn't stand that with Windass because he's a fucking... He thinks he's better than what he is, right? Player-wise, he's garbage, right? So I walked there, and I went, Wes, can I get a picture? He went, oh, no problem. And Windass tried to get in it. I says, no, you stand aside, you. It's okay. And he was like, you see his face just fucking trip him.
Patterson.
I didn't want to.
Is there anything to do with Dean Windass? Do you remember him? He used to
son.
play for Bradford.
son.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Oh, fucking...
He was a good player, Dean Windass, though.
Dean Windass was a nut job, but his son's fucking bright as a blackout, like.
I tell you, the first and last time I ever asked anyone for an autograph was Isle Berkovitz. In fucking met all the Celtic players coming through the airport, bumped straight into Berkovitz, asked him to sign.
John Hartson's a big fan of him, by the way.
Did you kick his head off?
Yeah. I felt like signing John after that. I did. He fucking kind of clicked the pen, all arrogant, just fucking handed it back to me. I said, you know what? I'll never ask anyone for an autograph again. Go fuck yourself. Fucking Isle Berkovitz. Good player though.
He was a good player.
Scored again.
Anyway, Smido.
I think it was.
Would it not make?
Any Isle Berkovitz
Different
related anecdotes there, Smid? Let's bring Smido in. I missed him.
No, I've been quite enjoying this little time off. To be honest, I've watched a little bit of boxing. What have I watched so far? I've watched AJ against Vlad. I've watched Inoue and Danair again. I watched that last night. I've watched the Vladimir doc. I've watched the Ricky Hatton doc. I watched Hatton against Mayweather. What else have I watched? There's some good stuff in there, Andrew. Come on.
Listen, Smith, I've been telling you for years, mate. Watch Salvador Sanchez. I've gave you all the links to the fights. Roman Gonzalez.
I've watched Gonzalez the other week, and I watched the Estrada fight as well earlier when I was down at Cheltenham. Don't worry about that.
Watch Wilfredo Gomez next then. I'm telling you.
Sanchez was class. I agree.
I don't like going all that far back though, to be honest.
That's only early 80s, Smid.
Yeah, exactly.
What's wrong with that?
So I'm like, I tell you what I watched today: highlights of Katsidis against Casamayor. Because that's an anniversary. I think 12 years ago today. I watched the I watched the highlights of that. I'm going to watch Taylor Prograis possibly later in the week. So yeah, it's been going really well. I've been very productive. Done a lot of gardening. Gyms are shut, so I've been out on my bike. I just thought I'd ring in and see what you lot have got to say.
Got plenty to say, Smido. Good question coming in the chat, actually. I'm going to give everybody a chance to answer this one. Hopefully you've had a look at it and had a think. If it's from Danny Young, I will go first, so you'll have even more time to come up with an answer. I'm coming to you first, Gabriel, by the way. And you as well, Smido, don't worry, you are not going to be exempt from this one. Danny Young said, finally, me and a mate always meet up to watch fights on TV. So given the live stuff is out of the window, we are going to start a classic fight night. So the question is, says Danny Young, if you had to pick one fighter and you had to pick 10 of his fights to watch in order, what fighter would it be and what 10 fights? So our current choice is Mike Tyson from the Trevor Berbick fight to the Frank Bruno fight. Hopefully everybody can understand this question. Okay, so we've got 10 fights of one fighter, and I am going to go for Manny Pacquiao from Marco Antonio Barrera in 2007, right up to Juan Manuel Marquez in 2011. So you've got Barrera in 7, then you've got Pacquiao against Marquez, David Diaz, Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, Joshua Clottey, Antonio Margarito, Shane Mosley, right up to Juan Manuel Marquez. I hope that's 10. I think it is. So that's the 10 I would go. So Gabe, first to you then. One fighter, 10 fights out of their career in a row. Who would you go for, and which fights would they be?
Shit.
I'll put it in the chat. So we've had a chance here, gentlemen.
Yep. Nope. I'm good. I'm having a hard time picking. I know. I thought of several. I'm gonna go with my first thought on a 10-fight streak. Oscar De La Hoya. Start with Ike Corte whenever he got beat by Ike. Then that goes from Corte, Carr, Trinidad. The Mosley 1 fights there. Fernando Vargas is there. Yuri Campos is there. And Mosley 2 is there. That's a pretty good 10-fight spell to watch.
Yep. Well said, Gabe. Daryl Coley as well is in there. I think he finished him off with a body shot, didn't he? Javier Castillo, there's a name from the past. He beat Felix Sturm for the IBF middleweight title, and then Sturm beat him in the rematch. Bit of useless information for you. Andy, you have an 11-fight streak, and we're going to go with it. We're going to allow it.
Yeah, we're going to allow it. Well, you fucking better allow it. Good say. Obviously, the first fight I think about Roberto Duran, but you could really break his career down into three decades really. Lightweight, and then the welterweight run, and then what he did afterwards. But I'm going to go Chava Sanchez. So I'm going to go when he beat Danny Little Red Lopez for the title back in 1980. He beat Ruben Castillo. He beat Danny Lopez in the rematch, and then beat Pat Ford. They had major problems with Pat Ford in that fight actually, and then he adjusted his tactics and won a majority decision. He beat Juan Laporte, Roberto Castellón, Nicky Perez, Wilfredo Gomez, he was actually a bet underdog for that fight, Pat Cowdell, Rocky Garcia, and then Azuma Nelson, who obviously coming to Africa at the time was late notice, and he gave his absolute balls in that fight. And Sanchez, we discussed it, mate, for PFTP, didn't we? But great fight. Nelson put his absolute balls and his soul on the line for that fight. Sanchez, his last fight of his career before he died, tragically at 23, I think it was, found a way, hit him with so many fucking shots, man. I couldn't believe it. In the end, caught him in the 15th round. So Sanchez's title reign, from winning the title against Danny Little Red Lopez up to his last fight against Azuma Nelson, Smid, that is the man to watch, mate. I'm telling you right now, watch Sal Sanchez from when they won the title against Danny Little Red Lopez, and then come back to me and see what you think about him.
It might take me a while, but if this lockdown lasts for more than a month, I will achieve that task that you have set.
For the fights on YouTube as well. Let me know if I can get I can get his whole set to you sent to you if you want.
Smido, let's go to you actually. I'm going to throw you a bone here. Your main man, Carl Froch, maybe this could be your pick. John Pascal 2008 to Mikkel Kessler 2013. Would that be something you'd be interested in?
That would be right near the top of my list, Steve. It genuinely would. We can all criticise me for being a Froch fan, but back to back, world champion after world champion after world champion. There is a bit of a left field Youssef Mack in there, but we can all forgive one of the defenders. Superb. And if you started at Pascal, you would end up something near the Kessler rematch. That would be pretty good. I did have an answer though, Steve. I looked in the chat. I wouldn't mind. It's not like awesome, but there's a couple in there that you might question. But Diego Corrales, if you start at Mayweather, you finish at the Castillo rematch. He was always obviously in entertaining fights. I think there's only one fight within that run that went the distance. Which was a split against the aforementioned Joel Casamayor. So yeah, Diego Corrales, if you start at Mayweather, which we would all agree was one of Mayweather's more entertaining fights. That might be a good run. I think you've got the perfect pick though, to be honest, Steve, in Pacquiao, and then Gabe called out De La Hoya. So yeah, they're all pretty good ones, to be honest. But yeah, I'll throw Corrales out there.
I was going to mention
Yeah, it's a
Pacquiao.
great-
I actually, they didn't watch his biopic yet on Netflix.
No,
No.
but I would be interested in it. I didn't know there was one.
It's called Kid Kadufli or something like that. It basically focuses on his rise up to his first world title fight. So it's really good watch. Like it just shows about his mum as well. His mum's a right control freak.
Netflix, Andy, that on you?
Netflix, mate. I also as well. Anybody listening to watch the Carlos Monzon series as well. Well worth a watch.
Andy throwing in a few, thanks to Smido as well. Hey to Dave, I think you've got one for us. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is a hell of a run. Part of the reason is that he picked and chose his fights very carefully, so that most all of them were historical in some way. Sugar Ray Leonard, starting with the brawl in Montreal. Roberto Duran, his first loss, actually. One of his few losses. Great fight, tremendous back and forth action. Ray fought him flat-footed. They asked him afterwards, how's he going to fight the rematch? He said, not flat-footed. And indeed he didn't. Immediate rematch, Roberto Duran. Andy won't like this, of course, but it was the famous...
Let's put the facts out there, though, Dave. Come on, let's just discuss the facts.
All right, fine, whatever. Do that later. I'm still on my list. Roberto...
shut the fuck up, Andy. Shut the fuck
up. That's you told?
Following the quit fight, there was the
Let's
Larry
get out
Bonds,
of here,
all-time great Larry Bonds, of course. At least he knocked him out. Ayub Kalule, undefeated, whatever. Then, another historical fight against Thomas Hearns. The first match between the two, undefeated Thomas Hearns was winning the fight, jabbed his eye off. Leonard stopped him late. After that, Bruce Finch, whatever. He stopped him in 3 rounds. You'll be able to watch it quickly. Then Kevin Howard was the comeback fight 2 years later. But this was the first time Ray was ever dropped, I believe, in that fight. Otherwise, it's not very notable. He did end up stopping Kevin Howard. Then, 3 years after that, Marvin Hagler, the famous historical, everyone knows this fight, split decision win for Ray. Dramatic, not tremendous action, but dramatic stuff. Donnie Lalonde is after that. He moved up again. This fight, a lot of people probably...
Donnie Lalonde dropped him a couple of times, and Hearns dropped him a couple of times in the second fight too.
That Leon fight is actually underrated. Very good fight.
Lalonde's a brilliant fight. Brilliant.
People will have criticisms of it because I think it was at one of those kind of bullshit catch weights.
It's catch weight for super middle and light heavyweight championship, wasn't it?
It's the Floyd before Floyd sort of thing.
That 168 belt was just newly created at a point, I'm sure.
People were very sour on Leonard at the time because Hearns had become the first to win weights world titles at 4 different weights, knocking out Juan Domingo, Rodan, and then Leonard took the opportunity to win 5 titles at different weights, but he won 2 of them at a catch weight. Like, so, you know, people, and he held up famously held up the 5 fingers afterwards, and people were shitting on him at the time. Like,
well, speaking of Thomas Hearns, he is the 10th and final fight, their rematch, which is known in a lot of circles for being, you know, people say Hearns was robbed. Even Ray Leonard has since said Tommy won that fight.
It was a robbery.
For me. But bottom line is, it was a tremendous back and forth fight. I mean, Ray was dropped twice, but he also had Hearns ready to go at least twice. Had him hurt a couple times.
Yeah, that was the argument, really wasn't it? That was the argument that those were 10-8 rounds at the time. Then somebody give those 10-8 rounds.
That's what the Yankees used against Fury, against Wilder, didn't they? Oh, he got dropped twice, and he got hurt. I'm like, come on. Hearns won that fucking fight, that rematch. Clearly won that rematch.
Yeah, he should have had his moment. He definitely everyone knew he won it. Like.
I think it was something like 114, 112, I think it was.
113, 112, 112, 113, and 112, 112.
Yeah, I knew it was kind of dodgy. Well, something kind of funny scorecards. Nothing dodgy, like, but you know what I mean.
Definitely some extra 10-8 rounds in there, and I honestly think it was that, maybe not that close, but I think it was very, very close. It's a good fight.
Thank you, David. We'll come to you finally, Ozzy, if you want to have a think. Rob, next to you, 10-fight streak and your fighter, please.
Well, I was going to actually go for Ray Leonard, and I think if anyone wants to watch back fighters, like I watch someone with dazzling skills and hand speed and a selection of shots and a boxing IQ and could be a dog when he needed to and was a finisher. You know, whatever
you in the
say.
amateurs.
Yeah, he's basically. I've more the Hearn style. Well, as I was trying to show you already. That's it. Where my dog's at.
Joe Gallagher's just in the corner there.
Stop, for fuck's sake. Fucking. So yeah, and then I'm gonna go for for fuck's sake, stop with you. We're gonna go for B-Hop.
Joe's put the balls in as well, I think.
Stop, man. Stop. Fuck's sake.
That's like Yusuf Mack sneaking into the back of that Frotch record, ain't there?
For fuck's sake, the dog pound. I was gonna say B-Hop post Calzaghe, man, because he had there's some duds in there like Enrique and Ornelius and fucking the second Roy Jones fight that nobody should have ever seen. Bit of controversy with Chad Dawson as well with his I think his second of three instances where fighters picked him up and fucking threw him. Segundo Mercado being one, and Chad Dawson being another one. Joe Smith threw him out of the ring with a left hook in his last fight. But you know what he did, the fight against Kovalev, and I know people criticize him for being boring, but Rumble against Pavlik, absolutely schooled Pavlik, absolutely took him to school. I know there was he went up to he made Pavlik go up to 68, but Pavlik had absolutely nothing from fully bought into the mind games and completely got psyched out of it, and Hopkins took him to school. And then there's the two Pascal fights, man, cracker fights, especially the first one, and then the second one where he's doing the press ups in the ring and stuff. So you could do worse. It's entertaining stuff. I couldn't argue against any the De La Hoya run either. I mean, look at the fucking list of fighters he fought there, and you had characters there like Vargas and that you don't really have these days, like genuine badass like Ricardo Mayorga, these guys, Mosley. So, and I think Floyd's, I know he rightfully gets a lot of plaudits for how he was at 135, but his reign at welterweight, when you look back at it, and even now when you look at how dominant Pacquiao's been against younger lions since he's come back, does that make that win even better? His fights down the stretch, they say, guys who's clearly going to destroy, like Victor Ortiz and Robert Guerrero, but they're always interested build-ups. The two Maidana fights were good fights. Canelo was a big event, and then you get the Pacquiao. So, you could do worse than watch Floyd for the demonstration of skills.
That would be my worst nightmare, Rob.
And of course, then split off for you, Andre Ward, Guillermo Rigondo.
He kept going the distance too often, Mayweather.
All the real thrillers.
Going the distance against fighters who he shouldn't go the distance again.
He had bad hands, man. He's up at 47. You know what I mean? Just getting that money, baby.
From a pure, I'm coming down a couple of levels, but from a pure killer perspective, I think Kovalev, after the 10 fights from Cleverly onwards, I know he fought some shite, but he was absolutely walking through people. And you get a bit of Isaac Chilemba in that 10 fight run as well. I mean, you can't really turn that down. But if you start at Cleverly you end at Andre Ward the first fight, which was a very good fight, I thought, to and fro. So yeah, that's a good run and quite a mixed entertainment in there. I just he carried Pascal, said he wanted to hurt him and did. He almost killed Ismail Salico or whatever his name is, Mel Silar. Cleverly, we know what happened there. So yeah, from a pure killer entertainment, that might only take you a couple of hours, honestly, to go through them fights.
But Crawford's not a bad shout for a 10-fight streak coming up the weights. Maybe say go for Ricky Burns or Ricky Cecil. I know he hasn't fought as a high caliber opposition, but some real good performances in there from Bud Crawford. I'm going to get to some white fighters now as well before people start accusing me of being a race trader again.
That's the thing.
I said Oscar. I got Oscar in there. Fucking week. Canelo, Golovkin.
See all my favourite fighters, Steve, years gone by, they're either black, Hispanic, or fucking, I don't know, Muslim or something like Ali. All the white fighters I kind of support, like Josh Taylor, Usyk, Lomachenko.
Yeah.
You like what you like. Only idiots focus on that shit.
I don't. I just like the fighters. I love. You see this shit. Where you see people saying Lomachenko's overrated. I can't say Lomachenko's overrated. Look what the fuck he's doing in the ring. He's fucking Like, you're seeing what he's doing, and he's fighting 2 weight classes above where he should be fighting, like, and he's went straight into it, you know, against Salido and all. Like, you can't fucking say he's overrated. Shit like that just gets on my nerves. Like, so I don't watch fights like that, but I was just thinking on the spot here, and I was just throwing out fights like that I go back to watch. I'd watch a lot of James Toney shit as well. Like, James Toney fights are unbelievable to watch. Just the technique of him, man, rolling them shots, standing right there, and just being a dog, talking to fellas and everything, like, unbelievable.
Why
on, Dave.
You mentioned Tony Bellew yet?
Nice a Bain or any of them. You could watch
vacant title, Reign of Terror.
Oh fuck!
I want you to start with.
I thought you were going to mention Miguel Cotto. You know, the man who won all his world titles as vacant belts.
What? Hey,
he's never beat a champion who's actually 100% fit and proved it in the ring.
I mean, I'm a Cotto skeptic, but go to Gabe. He's the Cotto lover. But you got to admit, he had a really entertaining run of fights too. Maybe end with.
He had a hell of a 10-fight streak. That's a good point. Towards the tail end of that 10, I guess it gets a little bit iffy. But started with old Zab Judah and Mosley. That was a hell of a fight. And Margarita 1's in there. Margarita 2, maybe.
Maybe start with the Ricardo Torres fight. That was a good, like, both guys down multiple times, I think.
Yeah, that was a great fight.
Yeah. The Claudio fight was pretty good, too. Claudio should have won that fight. If he would have been a little bit more active in the late rounds, I think he would have won. That would have been a huge upset. But they were in New York. So
Gabe, you start with Judah, right? You've got Shane Mosley, Alfonso Gomez, Antonio Margarito, Michael Jennings, former pod favourite, Joshua Clottey, Manny Pacquiao, Yuri Foreman, Ricardo Mayorga, and Antonio Margarito too. So that's a great run there.
Oh, yeah. Mayorga.
Well, I mean, it's I don't know about great in terms of the opponents. But
no, I mean for entertainment. That's a good run of fighters.
Yeah, it was an entertaining run, and Mayorga. Don't forget, in that fight, until the 12th round, whenever he knocked Mayorga out, Mayorga was giving him hell and was landing some big punches on him.
Talk Mosley here.
He couldn't figure him out. Yeah, Mosley. Yeah.
No, Cotto.
Oh, Cotto. It was Mosley did that, wasn't it?
Remember trying
that Mosley was after Judah, yeah.
Remember trying that against Mayorga with left hooks, and come back to me, Mayorga, for Belly of the Week, by the way. I'm putting him up for Belly of the Week this week. Thank God you mentioned him.
He's fucking legend, man. Ricardo Mayorga is a fucking legend. Like, we need more people like him. Need more people like him back. See what the fuck? Oh man, when he was giving it to Oscar, like, I know Oscar made him pay, and several fighters did make him pay in the ring. But my God, man, what a character! Like,
yeah, but nobody could set that bastard up, could they?
No, just a hard nut, like.
His 2 wins over Forrest are truly fantastic wins, and like the first one, it's a knockout. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe Forrest was getting cocky. Then he goes on to beat him by decision. I mean, he had his number.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
Didn't he lose to Corey Spinks in the end? Wasn't it Spinks who took the title off Mayorga? Was it?
Something weird like that, aye.
Yeah, boxed him, didn't he, Spinks, I think. Anyway, we're going down a rabbit hole. Let's move on. I want to get Aussie. And yeah, Jason's desperate to get Vernon Forrest mentioned. To be honest with you, Jason, I liked Forrest, but there's nothing on his resume for 10 fights in a row that's getting me going, you know what I mean? He had some good wins, some good fights, but we're talking about 10-fight streaks. I'm not going to include Forrest personally. Some of the guys might do. Aussie, who's yours?
There's a couple. So I think you can argue Hatton from Zoo up to Pacquiao. So you've got the highs and lows there. Started with from Michael Stewart, which was, I think, an eliminator, which got him mandatory for the Zoo fight. So it was 2 before Zoo. Then he stopped Ray Oliveira, which was a pretty decent win, perfect prep for Zoo. And then we all remember the Zoo fight, an unreal performance. And then to see Zoo, essentially stopped on his stool. And then some ups and downs. Obviously, beat Castillo, beat Collazo, then got the big fight against Mayweather, and somewhat, ultimately outclassed in the end. But I think a lot of people will never be able to forgive Joe Cortez in that. Comes back against Lascano, beats Malignaggi. I think from memory, was that when they had to cut Malignaggi's hair in the ring?
Yeah, that's right.
All over the place, yeah.
That's right.
And then, obviously, fights Manny Pacquiao, I mean, it only went 2 rounds, but was never really right in that. I think he admitted himself and was brutally stopped in the second round. And then I think the other one you can argue with was, who is always in exciting fights, is Amir Khan. Probably start from the Maidana fight up until probably Canelo. I think the Maidana fight is probably one of my favourites. That I enjoyed that. Obviously, like I said, you're ending again on a fucking brutal knockout. But I think you can never do Khan down for, like he always steps up the challenge. Has never really ducked a fight.
Absolutely. Well said.
There's always
Big
been
time. I do think Joe Cortez saved him against Maidana, though. Joe Cortez fucking wouldn't let
But people
Maidana go
thought
to
he
work
wasn't
when
going to
had
fight
him down.
Maidana, didn't they? And he stepped
Yeah,
up.
big
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I tell you what, he was seconds off probably stopping Maidana as well, because Maidana was
body
hurting.
shot.
Was it the first
Big time.
round, second round?
First round.
That body
Liver
shot was
shot.
a peach, wasn't it?
It took him a good 3 rounds to recover for that, but that 10th round, man, Khan showed some real balls.
Mate,
Real balls.
He showed a chin in that fight.
Yeah.
Maidana can punch. Maidana can bang.
Yeah, but then after the fight, he was trying to celebrate that he'd been on the chin multiple times. I mean, it was trying to. I've showed everyone I can get it. Well, brilliant. That's going to shorten your career, you twat.
The Prescott one for me was like career suicide. I thought, was Prescott a mandatory? Was Prescott a mandatory for him at the time? No,
it was Jorge Rubio told him to take that, didn't he?
Because I remember thinking, I saw him in the gym and I was like, this fella's
his
got
first fight in
24
pay-per-view.
knockouts. 24 knockouts. Khan's talking about he's got 7% body fat, and he's been down against fucking Willie Lemon, or shook against Willie Lemon, Michael Gomez. You're thinking, this fella's not fucking going to hang with this guy with the 24 KOs, man. You just see him fucking slumped. Oh man, I was like, what the fuck did they take this fight for? This fella's sleeping in the gym.
I think it was Jorge Rubio convinced Frank Warren to take it, Rob.
He's jumping in his fucking
he left
Olympic
Oliver Harrison,
pool.
didn't he?
Left Harrison jumping in his Olympic fucking swimming pool that he has in his house, and your man sleeping in upstairs in the gym. I was thinking, fuck man, you're done here. Like, Jesus Christ, what a knockout that was. Like, to come back from that as well, though, you gotta give him credit.
I was gonna say, because that was it was a brutal knockout. That.
Yeah, that's the thing, though, as well. He's a big fight, because that was I'm sure he's saying it was his first fight in pay-per-view, and to get iced like that.
Yeah.
And then the achievement, unified champ, was sniffed up by the way. No, these days.
Came back against O'Sheen, yeah, that's right. Or Salita, was it? No, was Salita he come back against O'Sheen?
Came back against Fagan. Then he fought.
Salita was in Newcastle. That was poison that night. I was there. That was fucking poisonous night.
I was at the Fagan one.
Was you?
Right night. Oh,
mate.
night, man.
Did he beat Barrera after the?
No, that was before. No, that was before, I think.
Was it?
I think it was before.
He fought Barrera before Prescott then.
I felt like he fought Barrera on the come up. Maybe not.
No.
Maybe not.
And then he beat Kotelnik for the world title.
Good performance. Great performance, actually.
Kotelnik had already beaten Marcus Maidana, hadn't he? He was a good fighter, Kotelnik.
Yeah, very good. And then he battered Salita. I remember Salita giving it the big one on Sky Sports News, and he said bollocks by accident. He said, what Amir Khan is saying is bollocks, and started laughing, and it was a live interview on Sky, and he burst out laughing, and then Salita he cowered down in his corner, didn't he? Just didn't know what to do, couldn't cope with the speed of Khan.
Here's Khan's record post Michael Gomez, right? British Prescott, O'Sheen Fagan, Barrera, Kotelnik, Salita, the one I mentioned about that was a poisonous night, Malignaggi, Maidana, McCloskey, Judah, Peterson, Garcia, Carlos Molina, Julio Diaz, Luis Calazo, Devin Alexander, Algieri, Alvarez, Lo Greco, Vargas, Crawford, Billy Dibb.
That Alexander performance was a good performance as well.
Yep.
That was his last great performance, I think.
Yeah, but at the same time as Alexander's issues with dependence as well. You don't know, it's robbed him of part of his career as well. No joke, he's had problems with, the thing in America with the issue, fucking prescriptions, painkillers and that, it's Oxycontin, fucking riddled with fucking heroin and stuff like that. He had 2 years coming off that shit.
He comes from a bad past as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Alexander, I think.
He does. Yeah. But no, that's no joke. Like, he was hooked on fucking pills for a bit.
I've got one other as well, Steve.
Weren't we all?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. 1990, baby.
Just counting back now. Just let me just count the name.
Oh, see Magaluf in '98, by the way. That was just absolute. Oh,
Shagaloo.
Shagaloo. Christ, mate, I'm going to mention that. So
it's actually, Steve, it's around an 18 fight streak that I'm pretty impressed.
Well, you might be stretching it a bit like Devon Alexander, but we'll go for it, Ozzy.
Well, I want to see if you can guess. So he had a bit of an upset when he drew with Juan Hinestrosa at the Halls in Norwich. But then, after beating Patrick Bartos in Harrow, he decided that his career wasn't to continue in the UK.
Herbie Hyde.
He went on the rough. Herbie fucking Hyde.
who the fuck's this?
The Prince,
He's
not the
from
Hamid
Norwich.
variety.
Patel. Go to be Patel.
He started off with a win against Christian Hovarth.
Yes.
Get out of here, Hamid.
Took in countries in such as Hungary, Poland,
Yes.
the Czech Republic,
Fraudsley.
notching up wins against Zolt,
Wait a minute,
Coxis.
Egypt.
Yeah, we're getting there, Andrew. We're getting there.
Andrew.
He ups the opponent to John Chua in Morrison's Pub, Budapest. He notches up a title for the vacant UBO World Bantamweight title against Ronald Ramos.
Go and say it. Say it. The next fighter's name is what?
Innocent Everett. For the vacant Tanzania Pugilistic Syndicate of Bantamweight title.
Where was this fight?
That was in the Greek club Heliopolis in Egypt.
He needs to be sponsored by
He gets
Innocent
beat Jeddah.
Smoothies. Should be called Innocent Smoothie Everest.
He gets beat in Jeddah for by Michel Banquez, but then he returns to Egypt at the Ace Club, Victory Square, Degla Madi, Cairo, for the vacant African Boxing Union Bantamweight title to beat the infamous Idi Kayumba, who was seen on a Dennis Hobson show recently against Josh Whale. So
Well, here, Ozzy, you think that's a good one? What about this one? 2015, he fought Esteban Hillman Tababari, then he fought Juan Choki, then
Yes.
Esteban Hillman Tababari, then
Yes.
Esteban Hillman Tababari, then Eddie Salvatore, then Eddie Salvatore, then Esteban Hillman Tababari. What about that for a run?
Are we on about?
So
are we on
Serious
about,
grudge
are we
matches.
on about Saul Alvarez?
Absolutely.
I'm disappointed. There's one thing I'm disappointed with, Steve. That Cesar Mamani wasn't weaved in there then, or was it? Just, yes. Why? I can't believe you not found a run there where Cesar Mamani isn't weaved in. I mean, he's boxed him about 7 times as well. So.
Well, you've got 2017, Cesar Mamani, then Zamik Atakishiev, then Rosendo Mercado, then Cesar Mamani, then Jorge Yanez, then Cesar Mamani, Ronald Johnson, Luis Yapavenda, and then Cesar Mamani. So 17 to 19 was also a good run as well for him.
Yeah, massively agree. And we can probably weave in as well, you know, like a bit of moonlighting as refereeing, matchmaker, Bolivian doctor as well. So yeah, I think fuck Khan, fuck Hatton, and all the ones we said. It's all about the careers of Saul Farah and the Prince. You want 10 fight streaks? These guys can produce them.
Well said, Ozzy. We've somehow managed to make it to 10 past 10, and the belly of the week's still to come up, so putting it in here. Jason, we're going to have to move on.
Right.
Sorry, Jason.
I bet you that's the only time that run of fights ever gets mentioned.
On this podcast, it probably won't be.
Prince Patel's record. We must be the only people in the world of boxing to speak about Prince Patel's opponents for the last fucking 10 fights.
Rob, we are in the fucking slurry fucking boxing talk here to keep this podcast alive for the next fucking
You
how many
betcha.
months? 20 weeks.
Fucking who knows?
I mean,
Who knows?
the kids are off school for the next 20 weeks. Just, you know,
Stop it.
Rob, I'm going to be in there rope with fucking weights into my feet.
There'll be a few of us in the queue, man. Fucking hell. You'll have to keep going.
Rob Kelly in the ballroom with the rope.
I want like the fucking shot with the fucking nearest bullet.
Fucking hell.
Oh, hey,
Anyway.
Rob, listen to this bit. I've got a wee rhyme for you.
Oh yeah.
Right. Riddle me this. Riddle me that. 9 in a row was fucked by a wee black bat.
Well, look at if that's what you're clinging on to from your season. You know what I mean?
Oh, fucking brilliant.
We're getting the 9. We're getting 9. They're going to give us the fucking title.
They just, generous of hearts. Get the fuck.
Give it to you. Give something to complain about next year. What, null and void? Why is that null and void in fucking 13 points behind? You see what if...
title.
See if I fucking had been given out at Christmas, you wouldn't have been wanting null and void. You wouldn't have given us the fucking title. Stevie G for fucking president.
Hey, guess something? You're fucking right, by the way. Just like you're
fucking right.
Fucking
right, big time.
Fucking minute, you bastard. Fucking lady boy.
Oh, we're gonna get out in a row.
Right, let's hit Belly of the Week, boys. There's Andy and Rob having a bit of bants. Gabe's left us, unfortunately. Still got Dave the Hater low back though, Adam Smido Smith and Aussie Smith. Loads of bell use, Andy. Loads of bell use for episode 365. And are you excited about this? First one, Nathan Cleverly. He's been on form lately, nominated by Jed Kleemer. Must be having some kind of breakdown. All of his accounts have been hacked for a year. Lethal combination. Cleverly got involved here on Instagram. Clev the G, big suit, WBO title, couple of women. Clev says hard as fuck, rich as fuck with a big cock, lethal combination. Enjoying himself there over in Wales.
Speaking the truth.
Yeah, well, he was too shy of putting the fucking Y fronts on and getting the old fucking sledgehammer fucking docked up a wee bit with the cock and balls. Nah, he wasn't fucking shy. He fucking put it out there. Yeah, bet he's bust a fucking few slip minges.
Slip minges on episode 365. Moving on swiftly. Josh Hussey. Josh Hussey, sorry.
Cleverly's fights again.
He's got a maths degree. Josh Hussey has nominated UCAD. They're suspending testing. Great news for all involved. Trading leather boxing. Get on it. Anthony Fowler has tweeted out, I think I'm going to give away a load of CBD oil tonight just because I'm bored to fuck and it's great to help people in need. Look out for a competition. Fowler, he does it for the virtue signalling and old fouls. Scotty, no, what's that one? I'm flicking through a few here. Liam Jordan is talking about Yusuf Mack. I like a bit of Yusuf Mack chat, why not? Declan Graffin has nominated Mauricio Suleiman. WBC Boxing, in agreement with VADA testing, has temporarily suspended all clean boxing programme testing. It is not possible to collect samples, as collectors and boxers must abide by the current policies. We will evaluate conditions in 3 weeks. Let's all participate. Hashtag stay home. Stay home, Andy. The testers ain't calling.
Yeah, just get involved, I mean... Everybody's stocking up.
Bring the dogs out for a walk.
Yeah.
Just bring the dogs out for a walk.
Do what you want to do to them. Buy suspenders for them and stuff like that.
Get a little hand sanitizer so you're not contaminated. Their dog food is not contaminating your sample.
Yeah.
Little sanitizers.
That's a diabolic
attitude,
Rob.
Yeah.
Bit of cycling in the park.
Yeah,
Just cycle the frustration off.
Yeah. Just go for a wee detox to the nearest fucking sporting club, Duncan Bannatyne, maybe get you souped in there,
WBC frontrunner this week. Javier Bacoli have nominated BoxRec's all-time heavyweight rankings. A great win over Chaz Witherspoon. Look who's made it onto the list. So we've got the likes of Gene Tunney, Vladimir Klitschko, Joe Frazier, Sam Langford, Max Schmeling, Harry Wills. Coming in at number 20, just below George Foreman and Sonny Liston, is Alexander Usyk. He's only had one fight at heavyweight, but he's already in the top 20 greatest heavyweights of all time, according to BoxRec. Let's have a look here. Prime Type Morrison has nominated Dan Raphael. Did anybody see this week? Dan Raphael failing to make the count as his chair crumbled underneath him. Hashtag COVID-19. Hashtag fleece.
Hashtag diabetes type 2.
Maybe that's where the COVID started, was in that fleece, who knows?
Oh, it's a living organism, that thing, isn't it? Fucking hell.
It's festering. CBD addict at Smiggers Titties IFL has nominated O'Hara Davis. O'Hara tweeted out, we need to dedicate a day to coronavirus every year from now on, like happy corona holidays. He then went and deleted it. Deleting's cheating, O'Hara. You might as well keep it on board. Trading Leather Boxing has nominated Andy Ruiz Jr. Ruiz tweeted out, "I slept 10 hours last night, absolutely locked and loaded for a big day of hand washing and looking out of the window." Trading Leather says, "Isn't that what happened before the rematch?" I think so, pretty much. Oh dear. But we love Dan Raphael, Jason. You're getting it all wrong.
Do we
Fans
fuck?
of Dan. He thinks we hate Dan too much, Andy. Love Dan on this pod.
We didn't hate on him. He's hardly gets mentioned here until he gets his grey fleece gets mentioned at a fucking big event.
I was just going to say, I think Steve's getting a fleece like him, the last thing he told me, so...
What's he saying?
So we clearly don't dislike Dan. Steve's getting a fleece like him.
I would love to get a fleece like it. You could, in times like this, you got to keep warm, keep the whole family underneath it. Nice beige fleece. Absolutely.
You could keep all the family under the size of his fleece as well.
JS Park 10 has nominated King Maine, talking about Roberto Duran.
Yes.
Paul Smith just blocked me for nominating him for Bellew of the Week for calling someone else fat. I have that. So, oh yeah, here we are. Paul Smith was having a go at Brian McFadden. Smith says there should have done more one. Yeah. So Brian McFadden was tweeting about apparently Ireland. Everyone in Ireland who has a computer or phone with Wi-Fi. Why can't the teachers still do their lessons from the class while the students sit live from home on Instagram, etc.? And Smigger wasn't happy about this. He jumped in on this, Mr. McFadden, and said there should have done more one-to-one lessons yourself. Sick of seeing the shite that you come out with retweeted on my timeline, you fat entitled cunt. Not all kids have bellends like you paying maintenance or have iPads or computers. Excuse me. Some kids only hot meal is at school. Yeah. So Smiddo, whatever you call him, is calling Brian McFadden a fat entitled cunt. David Allman got nominated for Bellew of the Week for highlighting this.
That again just highlights as to how much of a prick Paul Smith is. He's on there abusing a guy, right? Talking about, just because he mentions his kids, for example, by saying, "Oh, you got to pay up so many kids." Yet this is the guy who goes out his way to block people if he has so much got a negative thought or opinion about his career, his boxing. They even mention his fucking family. I'm just talking about fucking boxing. And he's just going out his way just to go and abuse a guy because he happens to be a singer or a celebrity or a guy in the fucking front line. It just, again, it epitomises to how much of a fucking ball bag he is. An absolute fucking fud.
Why did he call him fat?
Exactly.
Who's he call him fat? Spigot.
He got to shag caricature for fuck's sake.
And I tell you one thing.
And they're prime.
He's no mug Brian McFadden. He once got into a punch-up with the So Solid crew. I fucked him out of it in some VIP in London. He was fucking throwing hands. So, 21 seconds to go. Smiggle.
There you go. Just shows you,
You better watch yourself, Smig. You might get knocked out. Glenn McCrory has been nominated for doing an advertisement for Enhanced Conservatories TV, Modern Double Glazing. CBD addict Smigger's Titty said he signed up to do this after he saw Floyd's window advert. Wouldn't be surprised. Trading Leather Boxing has nominated Clarissa Shields for wishing herself a happy birthday. Good old Clarissa.
Oh, fucking twat. Fucking twat, that woman, that. I hate her. I really fucking do, man.
I've actually grown to like her, Andy, man. She's quite funny.
She's up there with Hillary Clinton for the worst woman stakes. I fucking hate her.
Oh dear. Anthony Fowler has been nominated by Toby. This is about giving away the CBD oil as well. Matty at Eggy Phil, who I believe is in the chat tonight. Hello, Matty. Has nominated Billy Nelson. Billy says, "I hope people are safe and well. I'm beginning to believe the theory that this could be an accidental leak from a nuclear weapon that's went so very wrong." Putting the weapon in nuclear weapon there, old Billy. James has nominated Jordan Foyle. Usyk has never been in the ring with someone as powerful as Derek. I'm not saying he's a big puncher. When Derek lands clean, it's lights out for Usyk. He's 6'3", weighs 15 stone. Not heavy enough. David Price has been nominated well from Eggy Phil. Pricey's having to go at people about Liverpool and family's heartbreak and stuff. Just flicking through them here. What else? Oh yeah, Gavin Rees. This is a good one. Gavin Rees got knocked out Danny Slug. Nomination for Danny Slug here from George Nada. Gavin invited Mr. Slug into the gym. Only sparred once in the last 4 years, says Gavin. Former lightweight. Was he lightweight champion, I think he was. Beat Kotelnik, didn't he, on Satanta? No, Kotelnik knocked him out for the title. He beat Sullivan and Bai. Anyway, sorry. Gavin Rees said, I've been constantly abused on Facebook by some rude... took less than 30 seconds to shut him up. Danny Slug, think before you open the trap again. This old man ain't out yet. Did anybody see this? He went to Danny Slug and dropped a peach of a body shot, wasn't it, under the arm?
Just lifted up his rib, man, just bang, under the fucking right hand. Oh, it was brilliant. What did these fellas be thinking want to get in the ring with pro fighters, man? You're fucking out of your mind, man. You're out of your mind, Gavin. I was outweighed, out fucking. You're not going to beat a pro fighter, a world champion. Like, give me a fucking break.
I was reading this story out about Roberto Duran in Stillman's gym in New York, right? And there was this guy who used to come in here, and he was like a white collar guy, but he used to spar with anybody, right? And Duran was in the fucking gym this day, and Duran doesn't give a fuck about sparring. He is a fucking war to him, Duran fucking destroyed him in 30 seconds, fucked him up, broke his nose and everything. Just fucking destroyed him. It's just some people you just don't fuck with. I mean, for example, look at Duran against Ben when Ben was coming through. Remember that wee sparring session? Or sparring exhibition? You not seen that?
No.
Oh, I'll send it to you later on. What a session it was, man. Fucking Ben's trying to lay it on him and that, and just Duran's getting out of the death feints and the counter shots. And that.
I've seen it, yeah, it's good.
You know what I mean? I've seen it, yep. Fuck. Remember Roberto Duran sparring Sergio Mora? Fucking hell. Even at 62-year-old, man, he was fucking schooling him.
He knew the moves, didn't he, Duran, towards the end? Even though the legs weren't necessarily moving, the brain was on point, man, defensively.
Absolute natural. He didn't need a teacher. He didn't need a trainer, man. That was a professor at work. Let's get it straight.
Well said. Swaggy Taggy has thrown in Belly of the Week for Umar, IFL Umar. During the interview with Sam Jones, they're discussing why people are panic buying toilet roll as opposed to food, to which Umar replies, if you haven't got any food, how are you going to go to the toilet? Umar, toddler Umar, says Swaggy Taggy. That's all the nominations I've got. Strong frontrunner, I think, for old Smigger this week, labelling Brian McFadden a fat cunt. But you guys might have some to throw in, Andy. Any from you?
Yeah, I've got one. It was Ricardo Mayorga. I actually found it on my likes actually on Twitter, and I actually meant to mention it a couple of weeks back. But so what happened was, Mayorga must be back in his old neighbourhood and that, and wherever it is he stays in Nicaragua. But it's like a shanty town, so it's got all the corrugated steel and stuff, right? And he's standing at the side of the fucking road with his black Grab-C Nisbet top on, right? And there's two guys, there's two kids for the streets and that fucking boxing in the middle. Well, I'd use the term loosely. They're swapping hands, shall we say, right? There's technique's a fucking byword at this fucking point. So these guys are just throwing fucking shots at each other, right? And Mayorga's shouting instructions to him. And he's like, I don't know what he's shouting, but he's like, throw the fucking shot properly. He looks away for a nanosecond, and the guy lands a fucking shot, knocks the other guy out. He turns back and he sees the guy fucking leaning on the top of the boys. He's fucking out cold, punched him in the back of the head. And Mayorga's like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? What the fuck? And he's like pushing him back. So good to say that Mayorga, even though he's a fucking hellraiser, he's keeping the streets of Managua, Nicaragua, fucking clean of street fighting, basically. Obey the rules. It was something proper. So I'll send it to you the news. So that's the only one I've got.
And then Central American countries as well. They're just bonkers, aren't they? Like Nicaragua, Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador.
It's fucking brilliant.
Man, like even when he came back for the cash grab that time, when he pinched Shea Mosley's girlfriend's ass and made her leave him after the fight, like he's just thinking. Of
course, it wasn't set up that,
No, but I didn't give a fuck, did he, Mayorga? Like, absolute fucking legend, legend.
Okay, Andy, any more from you?
That's me, mate.
That's you. Ozzy, got any nominations to throw in for us, please?
No, none from me.
Nothing from Ozzy just yet. Dave the Hater Lowback, you're still with us. Any nominations?
No, as far as I'm aware, boxing hasn't existed for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, I've got a late one, Steve, sorry. Eddie Hearn.
Yep.
Again, he's come out on the Seconds Out YouTube channel saying Tyson Fury boxed better when he stepped up and fought... Tyson Fury boxed better he stepped up, and that was what you believe the same will be with Hughie, right? And he goes into kind of detail about the VADA stuff and that. So he's basically kind of come out and basically says, Whyte's keeping an eye on the Tyson Fury doping situation, but the actual situation that Eddie's referring to and what's been reported recently, Hughie's caught up in that same fucking story as well. So who promotes Hughie? Eddie.
You know what he's like. Rob Kelly, finally to you. Any nominations before we take our picks?
No, I had one, but I can't fucking remember what it is. But that guy who wanted to go eat a spag, Gavin Reese, like, what a fucking dipshit. Like, he got what he deserved, didn't he? Like, fucking hell. Apparently he was trolling him or something as well, wasn't he? Like, so he was trolling him and then he let him have it. Like, fuck's sake. Oh, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one for Danny Slug. But I'm going to go with Smigger, I think, for calling him that guy a fat cunt. Are you with me, Andy?
Oh, without doubt. What an absolute weapon. What a dauber. An absolute fucking dauber. I mean, this guy, again, he goes and does the fucking thing that he blocks people for on Twitter, abusing them. And this is that. He mentions the guy's fucking kids, indirectly. What a fucking wank. And they call him fat? Andre Ward will be on the fucking phone. Hey, baby, come on. That guy gave me fucking, what was it, 6 figures? He was a fat bastard. Yeah, fucking dick.
2 for Smigger. Ozzy, who are you going for this week?
Yeah, Fat Smigger.
Oh, looks like it's already in the bag here, Rob.
Yeah, easy.
Your vote is academic, but you might as well go anyway. Who are you going for? Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, Smigger. I'm easily bored and swayed.
Easily.
I've forgotten about that one.
Smig. Go on, Dave. Who are you going for?
Well, it's pointless to go anywhere, any other direction.
It is.
The pinnacle of self-awareness. With his hairy titties.
Go.
Yes.
Oh, Andy. That's your man gone. That's coronavirus coming down the friggin' microphones now, thanks.
People were fucking raging at that tape.
I know. Lovely. Thanks very much for that, Andy. 5-0 to Smigger. He's got 5 wins tonight. He is the Belly of the Week for episode 365. Congratulations to you. And congratulations to us for doing nearly 2.5 hours. We've made it. Andy Patterson's been on board on this crazy cruise ship alongside Ozzie Smith as well, rapping Rob Kelly, Dave Loback.
We're going to get it for on the cruise ship, baby. We're going to get that coronavirus for on the cruise ship. You know what's going to happen.
On the Nuthouse. Join us in the asylum next week. Smido was here. He's disappeared. Gabe as well said I'll be right back. Not tonight, you won't be, Gabe. We'll catch you for episode 366. And you lovely listeners as well. Leave your comments in the YouTube if you want. Leave an iTunes review. Why not? We're still here with you. God knows what we're going to talk about next week. We've still got a few questions left over. We'll roll them over. Throw your questions in as well. I've been Steve Welling. See you all again same time, same place next week. Bye.